I stand before you at this noble fortress of American liberty to pay tribute to the immortal souls who fought and died to keep us free. In this place more than 200 years ago, American patriots stood their ground and repelled a British invasion. Rockets rained down, bombs burst in the air. A gallant young American, Francis Scott Key, his ageless words became the anthem of our nation. Every time we sing our anthem, we renew the eternal bonds of loyalty to our fallen heroes. For as long as our flag flies in the sky above, the names of these fallen warriors will be woven into its threads. Because of them, America is strong and safe and mighty and free. Because of them, 2 centuries on, the Star-Spangled Banner still proudly waves.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello,
What's up,
everybody.
Jay? Yeah, we got 3.
We got 3 now.
Yeah, they'll start coming in. So I'm gonna wait a little bit before I play anything. I'm gonna play my new song too. I don't know if a lot of people heard it.
Maybe start with that. But hello and welcome, whoever's out there.
Yeah.
Who do we got?
Hey, what's up, Chill? What's up, Jeff?
We got Jeff and we got Chill.
Yeah, my brother's supposed to be here, but I don't know where the hell he is.
Hey,
what's up, Simon?
Don't take this personally, but your brother's a bit of a flake. Hello, Simon.
What do you mean? Don't tell him that. What do you mean he's a flake? Holy shit. All his friends are here right now.
Okay. I mean that in the most loving way. I mean,
there you go.
I don't really know.
That's like, remember the Seinfeld episode? Use it in a sentence. Oh man, I love that dude. He's so phony.
No, just I know sometimes when he's on, you'll just get up from the camera and go.
Oh yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah, he is a flake that way.
You know, I mean it like the most loving of ways, Rich.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he'll just get up and walk off.
He'll get up, walk off. Sometimes he'll just mumble and.
He used to say "piss break" and he'd walk off. I'd be like, "What? Yeah. What?"
So
yeah, he would do that.
No.
He should be here though. I don't know where he's at. I have no idea where he's at. Yeah, I'll play.
And Chill, you're right. He's not the only flake. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah. But let me see. Let's see. The politician. Okay, there it is. So I created a new channel called Jabberhouse Media. And it's to do political songs, if you will. And this one has a couple of swear words in it, but it's the first one, and it's called "The Politician." And I'll start off. I'll play it now, and probably play it later as well. Hang on.
Are you going to offend my sensibilities, Rich?
Yeah, it will. Here you go. All right, ready? So let me increase it. There we go. All right, here we go.
This guy's a real piece of work, strutting around like he owns the earth, leaving people pissed off in his wake, never caring about the mess he makes. This guy is a dick, no doubt about it. You think he's cool, but it's so crowded. Leaves me wondering how I got to know him, falling for his bullshit, thinking I'm below him. Thought I knew him, thought he was a cool guy. Hang around him long enough, he ain't so right. Yeah, this guy is a dick. He'll talk you up and make you believe that he's your best friend, but he's just a thief. He'll take your money with a wink and a grin, and when he's done, he'll just disappear again. This guy is a dick, no doubt about it. You think he's cool, but it's so clouded. Leaves me wondering how I got to know him, falling for his bullshit, thinking I'm below him. Thought I knew him, thought he was a cool guy. Hang around him long enough, he ain't so right. Yeah, this guy is a dick. He'll talk you up and make you believe that he's your best friend, but he's just a thief. He'll take your money with a wink and a grin, and when he's done, he'll just disappear again. This guy is a dick, no doubt about it. You think he's cool, but it's so crowded. It leaves me wondering how I got to know him, falling for his bullshit, thinking I'm below him. Maybe someday he'll see the light, realize the pain, make things right. But till then I'll keep my distance, learn from my mistakes with persistence. This guy is a dick, no doubt about it. You think he's cool, but it's so clouded. Yeah, it leaves me wondering how I got to know him, falling for his bullshit, thinking I'm below him. Thought I knew him, thought he was a cool guy. Hang around him long enough, he ain't so right. Yeah, this guy is a dick. Oh. He'll talk you up and make you believe that he's your best friend, but he's just a thief.
Came up with that. Came up with that because a lot of the end screens, I don't know how many people wait until the end of the video, but I do end screens, and I have songs back there, and they're all songs that I've created during the end screens. A couple of them are from Epidemic Sound, but I don't play them anymore. Most of the ones I do now are they're songs that I did in AI. And I have my next one's going to be it's going to be called "What Happened," and it's going to be about the Biden economy, and it's a it's a Jamaican song about this guy goes up to the ATM. And it says insufficient funds. It's kind of funny, actually, but it's going to talk about like the story is like, man, now I can't pay bills. I got to eat ramen noodles for the rest of the month and all that because of the economy sucking so bad. Hey, what's up, Commander? Good to see you, brother.
Is this another YouTube channel that you're starting?
Yeah. It's the first song that I did, and I think it came out all right,
Well, make sure to put out the link.
Yeah, I will. Well, I have it in it's now in the channels in all my descriptions.
Yeah, put it in the description of all your videos.
Yeah. In fact, I got to put it in here. Yeah, it's just Jabberhouse Media LLC. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah. I used to play in a band years ago. In fact, Louie's going to be here soon. He should be. He was my bass player for a lot of years, and we were pretty good, actually, but I haven't played in so long, so I just wanted to get into the AI thing, see how I could do, and it actually came out. I thought it came out all right, only the music was AI. The rest of it was me in Canva finding the videos and all that. So what's going on, man? Let's see. So got anything new going on, Jade?
Well, I think we were talking. I'm entering a change of phase of life. I just announced my retirement.
Yep. How'd they take it?
Well, everybody's scrambling. I'm getting calls from all these other aviation doctors that are going, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And some of the guys said, no, you can't. I've got a pretty deep involvement with most of them because, like I said, my job is getting them from, a major issue for which they've lost their medical certification to clean them up, get them
all right.
buffed and polished, and ready to get back to the get back in the cockpit and fly. And that takes a lot of doing. It's mostly substance issues. Sometimes it's depression treatment or anxiety treatment, but there's a lot going on because you don't want somebody with, untreated depression flying or not properly treated. So
yeah, no, I don't want that. No DEI hires either. None of them
Yeah, no,
flying
no.
either.
Well, hey, listen. That's not true because they were. God, where did I see this? They were looking at that, and I remember getting promoted to captain if you were DEI happened like 5 years before the middle-aged white guy.
Oh wow.
So if you were a woman, if you were of color, yeah. So I don't know if that's still going on.
Oh, in our
Um,
military, absolutely. That's the
well,
order of the day under this administration.
well, I think the military is starting to figure it out.
I don't know. You know what happened? It started under Obama. He started firing all the non-yes men,
Yeah,
and he
well,
only wanted yes men around him.
as long as we've got General, what's his name there, Mark Milley.
Well, he's gone.
Is he already gone?
Yeah, he left. He left. It was like 3-4 months ago, guys.
Well,
Anybody remember? Yeah, he got out.
he sure didn't want to be around when Trump was back in.
Right. Oh, I know. I personally think he should have been court-martialed and sent to Leavenworth for some of the shit that he did during the Trump administration.
You mean lying to the commander in chief about?
Well, it's not only that. I mean, when Trump did when he reached out to the Taliban and said, "Look, I want to get out of Afghanistan. We've been there a while. We're going to keep Bagram Air Base. We're going to keep a presence there, but that's it. And I want you guys to behave." And so he worked on a plan for us getting out. And Milley, first of all, a lot of people don't understand that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and all the Joint Chiefs, they have no command structure. They have no one under them. They are just advisors to the president and to the Secretary of Defense. That's it. Okay. But Milley, he reached out to his Pentagon buddies during that time that Trump was reaching out to the Taliban, and he ordered night raids on Taliban positions in Afghanistan. And he also ordered many drone strikes on Taliban positions. And he did it without Trump's knowledge. And he did it just to get them so pissed off that they walk away from the deal. I mean,
yeah,
that's some serious stuff we're talking about there.
Yeah,
and he
no,
did that. He did it. And also, I did a story back then. There were these two former officers. They retired, and they wrote a letter to the editor of Military News magazine, and I read it. And they were talking about, see, the whole bullshit that started with Bill Maher saying that Trump wouldn't leave if he lost. All right, Trump never once even entertained a thought like that. In fact, he said it. He goes, "I never said I wouldn't leave. If I lose and I lose legitimately, of course I'll leave." He goes, "Why wouldn't I?" Right? But then all the libtards, the libnuts, and everybody in between, they got involved in it, and then the whole country says, "Oh, he's not going to leave," right? So these two jackasses, they write to Military News, and they say that it was a letter to Mark Milley, and said that you have to get a contingency together of soldiers to drag his ass out of the White House if he doesn't leave. And Mark Milley actually did that. He got a group, one from every service, to on that contingency to drag his commander-in-chief from the White House. Now, can you believe this shit?
And I mean, I can't even say.
How do you get over it? How do you get past something like that? It's amazing.
I mean, no, it's like I said, he lied to
everyone.
He lied, well, to everybody, but he lied to the commander in chief about the distribution and activities of the military forces.
Yep.
And he lied to them about how many were, well, probably everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But he kept telling Trump different crap stories.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was not an honest person, because when Obama retained him because he was a yes man. He wanted to save his career over the country. And so he then read the tea leaves and said, I got to be with the leftists because they hold all the power. Well, when Trump got in, the left, let's be honest, they still held the power. They still did, because he had every department leaking every day for like the first year. and none of them were arrested. That because it's a felony to do that, and none of them were arrested. So I think he read the tea leaves and said, okay, I'm going to side with them over the commander in chief. So that means he had no integrity, right? He had no honor to do something like that.
There's a little something called the Constitution of
Yeah.
the United States, which every military member pledges to
Uphold and
uphold
defend. Yeah.
and defend and to defend the country.
Yep.
And I don't remember seeing in there where it said you could optionally switch your allegiance to some subgroup of.
I know. Oh, I know.
But you and I both know.
Oh yeah.
It was a uniparty. It wasn't the Democrats. It was the uniparty.
Mostly Democrats, but yeah, you're right. There were the rhinos were in there.
I mean, they go to the same country clubs. The
rhinos do.
If it wasn't for the rhinos, the uniparty, Trump would have gotten a lot further. He got a lot done, but he would have gotten an awful lot further. And he was
Paul Ryan being one of them.
He was blocked by his own party.
Yeah, Paul Ryan being one of them. I personally still believe that if Ryan had just funded the wall, we would not have lost the House in 2018. We wouldn't have lost it. Because Trump was doing really well as far as building the economy at that point. Because it takes a year for the receipts to come in when you change policy and taxes and regulations and whatnot. And he had a policy. He had like a Calvin Coolidge like policy, which was for every regulation we write, you have to remove 2 in the same department. You must remove 2 for every new regulation that we write. And it worked out really well for the American people. And I think what happened was our fake news media, and I don't think that, including Fox, a lot of people at Fox, a lot of the fake news they hammered Trump every single day, especially during COVID. Every COVID death was because of Trump. I mean, they're now saying, Kamala's people are saying that Trump waited too long to start handling COVID. I remember.
You mean when he tried to close the border to?
Yeah, he tried to close the border, and they called him xenophobic and a racist. Yeah. So and that was I think it was like 2 weeks after it was announced that COVID was there. So he said we have to ban people coming from China, and they called him, hey, what's up, Vance? And they called him a race, all the bullshit, and he didn't care because he's Trump, right? Let them have all the extinction bursts they want. He's Trump, and he didn't give a shit, which is why I love him. But the thing is, they're now saying, oh, he waited too long, and the problem is that the media is supposed to call Kamala out on that kind of shit. They're supposed to call them out, and they don't. They just don't. I had a friend who emailed me today a link to Wikipedia Donald Trump page. And she said, she writes something to the effect of, just read all the disinformation in here. And I did, and I read it, and I'm like, holy crap, there's so many lies, which is why the co-founder of Wikipedia has, he's disowned them and said, there's no saving them. They're so far gone, there's no saving them anymore. So yeah, China. Oh, there's another one. Let me find this other video you guys gotta watch. This guy does the differences. I laugh so damn hard. This guy does the differences between Trump and Obama. Did you guys see that? I think it's fantastic. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, here it is. Hang on. Let me see. Yeah, we got to stop it and start it. Okay. I'm going to bring it in. This is hilarious. It's a short. So it's the best Trump-Obama comparison. So let me see if we can see that. Yeah, it'll be all right there. All right. So there's no way. There's no way to increase it, is there? I don't think there is. No. Okay, so we'll go.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
The United States launched a targeted operation against that compound.
They did a lot of shooting and they did a lot of blasting, even not going through the front door. You think you go through the door. If you're a normal person, you say, knock, knock, may I come in?
After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
He died like a dog.
But his death does not mark the end of our effort.
A beautiful dog. Talented dog.
And that's why Trump was the better president.
Exactly. I just thought that was brilliant. I don't know about you, but I thought that was funny as hell. He died like a dog, because he did say that. Yeah. What's that?
It is pretty funny.
Yeah. He died like a dog. And then the one guy, it was a comedian. He's like, and when we killed al-Baghdadi, he goes, he started crying. He goes, crying al-Baghdadi. That's what we called him in the Situation Room. He goes, I said, don't cry, al-Baghdadi. Don't cry. Some really funny stuff. But see, that's the difference. Trump actually talks like people. You know, Bill Maher did a thing on his show where I did a video on it where he busted balls on Harrison Walls, where he says, well, I talk just like regular people. And he's like, no, you don't. Who do you think you're kidding? And Kamala, she doesn't. I think there's something wrong with her. I do. And we can't say dementia. She's not old enough yet, but I really think I do. I think there's something mentally wrong with her. The way she talks, the word salad. It's just too damn weird. If you get, and you know what? If you guys go to Hannity.com, it's Sean Hannity's site. Just look for I think it's called the Kamala Files and the Walls Files, Harris Files, and whatever they're called. But it's a shit ton. It's a page with a shit ton of audio links, and you stay on that page. You just hit it, and it's all the stupid things that they've both said over the years. And I'm going to start using them for videos. Seriously, because there's so much. Yeah, it's how a narcissist talks. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
More like Dame Bramage.
I don't think that she suffers from dementia at all. There's two kinds. Basically, you can group them. There's senile dementia, just basically losing neurons with age. And then there's pre-senile dementia, which is Alzheimer's and similar. Some of them can come on fairly young, but she's really young for any of that. And she's not showing any of the signs. I think she's just beyond egotistical. You're right. I think she is a narcissist. Oh, yeah. And so she sits there, and anything that pops out of my brain and, into my brain and out my mouth is gold. And she really believes that. And then she doesn't understand that people are actually listening to what she says. So did you see her the other day in Detroit? And she's kind of talking like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you going to thank a union for the weekend. You going to thank a union. And she gave like the same speech 2 hours prior. But because you saw the thing where it said 2 hours later, like the SpongeBob thing. Yeah. That was hilarious. But yeah, she had two different voices. Why did they do that? Hillary did it.
Hillary did it. When
I ain't no ways tired. No one told me that I mean, come on. Come on.
Yeah. Well, but Hillary carries hot sauce in her purse.
Yeah, full timers. I know I'm at that age now. I'm 60, so I get that sometimers disease where I can't remember names of like famous people because I never really cared. All right, let me get to reading some stuff. So the stories, Team Harris unveils a new plan to beat men into voting submission. 3 powerful Dems sound major alarm bells over Comrade Kamala's plans to butcher social media. Great replacement shock. 1.3 million native-born Americans just lost their jobs, replaced by 635,000 immigrants, many of them illegal. Yeah, here's the good news. Judge Merchan, the scumbag, sets the date for Trump's sentencing after the election to avoid appearance of tampering. But he also is saying he is, now whether it's true or not, we don't know because it's Merchan, but he's saying he's considering throwing out the convictions because of a Supreme Court ruling. Who knows? I personally think it's because he believes Trump's going to win and he wants to get ahead of it because Trump will come for him. Elon connects the dots in Dems election fraud plot, and he's 100% spot on. That's a good one. And I got the other ones up here. Wayne Root. This is all President Trump has to say to close the presidential debate with Kamala Harris. Liz Cheney just got flattened. Yeah, she came out. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because I believe in freedom and the Constitution. Two things that Kamala Harris doesn't believe in. Liz Cheney just got flattened by the J.D. Vance steamroller machine. That's going to be a good one. Glenn Beck takes a look at whether illegal aliens are voting or not. They are. Mass immigration pushes middle America to the brink, not sustainable. Harris tells her own personal corn pop story, and it's a doozy, and all the others. Let's go with this one first. Let's see. So we got Team Harris unveils a new plan to beat men into voting submission. As we dive into the nitty-gritty of the 2024 campaign, Team Harris Walls has been making some desperate moves. They really are. Kamala's flip-flop more times than the U.S. gymnastics team, and now she's literally stealing President Trump's entire agenda. This is one that Dr. Jade wanted to talk about. Entire agenda, trying to pass her off her radical core as some kind of moderate with America First priorities. Spoiler, it's not working. Nobody buys it. Nobody. She's all over the map with no real agenda except for radical ideas like stacking the Supreme Court like a tyrannical dictator. The U.S. Supreme Court isn't perfect, but it hasn't been completely weaponized yet. In fact, the court has recently come through on several key issues, voting in favor of truth and justice. I personally think the Roberts Court now, not the original, but now, is working towards getting us back on the constitutional path, just based on the rulings they've had from right before Dobbs until now. One recent ruling which affirmed presidential immunity was a huge victory for President Trump. Actually, it was a huge victory for presidents, not just Trump, for presidents and for the entire country. But don't get too excited because the entire Supreme Court is on the ballot this election season. VP Harris made that painfully clear when she asked about stacking the court, something the American people clearly don't want, but her radical extremist base would love to see. If we take the Senate, we don't have to worry about that. We just don't have to. Let's see.
Yeah, if Comrade Kamala is a moderate, I've got a seaport here in Colorado to sell you.
Yeah, I've got some wonderful miracle supplements I would love to sell you. Yeah. Harris wants a Supreme Court that will cater to her every whim. See, this is the thing, guys. A lot of you guys know this, but if we have newcomers like liberals that haven't been here before, what the Democrats a long time ago, when they started to become radical, but you couldn't just tell yet. Now they're blatantly, openly communist. But back then, they couldn't get things passed legislatively. So they worked on the courts. And they would get the courts to unconstitutionally give them what they couldn't get either at the ballot box or in their legislatures, including, D.C. So this is what they did. And so for years, they had the Supreme Court because there's a whole thing to it. The media would trash any justice that wasn't towing the line for the liberals, and now they're just losing their goddamn minds. So technically, this is the way it works. The country elects a president and says, we want this guy to run the executive branch. And we also trust this guy more than the other to put judges on the bench, including the Supreme Court. Okay. And the Democrats are like, well, that's the American way. God damn it. Until the court doesn't work in their favor. And for the first time in my lifetime, it's not working in the Democrats' favor. So now they just want to stack the court. Well, they got to get through. They got to get through. They got to get through the Senate to do that. And if we win the Senate, which I think we're going to take, so Harris wants the Supreme Court that will cater to her every whim. And the First Amendment only matters when she's the one yapping. That's true. This is not the American way, and people are growing tired of the United States resembling North Korea, which is why Kamala is floundering. I know a lot of people don't want to say it, but there is a new movement that's forming. And the best visibility that we saw of that was when RFK Jr. came out on that stage and supported Trump, because we've now got liberals from the Democratic Party that are joining conservatives, Trump supporters from the Republican Party. And they're saying, we're going to work towards one goal for America because we're sick and tired of the extremists. See, they try to say that the conservatives in the Republican Party are the extremists. No, nay. it is the rhinos that are the extremists because they side with the Democrats more times than not. Just look at their voting records. Go to conservativereview.com and look up the scoreboard, and you'll see it. They vote over what, like my guy is Brian Fitzpatrick. He's got like a 32 score out of 100 for his votes. He's a Democrat. He's the Republican wing of the Democratic Party, right?
Yeah, but what's happened, it kind of summarizing what you just said, I think what's happened is you've got conservatives, you've got, probably traditional classical liberals that used to be Democrats.
Right.
And then all the way over there is where the Democrat Party has wandered.
Where the hell are they? Yeah, they're so far to the
So
left.
these two groups say, wait a minute, we're much closer together than either of us is to those guys.
Got that, Chill.
So,
Jonathan
and I think that's why some moderate Democrats are saying, no, we got a better chance with this guy. At least he believes in the Constitution. Yep. I do want to take one brief moment for 3 seconds of silence. I don't like Mitch McConnell, but let's have 3 or 4 seconds of silence for Mitch McConnell. I'm not going to give him a minute. He doesn't deserve it. But 3 seconds of silence for Mitch McConnell for the one great thing that he has done in his career. And Rich, you can say it. You know what I'm thinking.
He kept Merrick Garland off the U.S. Supreme Court.
Bingo. You're a mind reader.
Silence, everybody. 5 seconds.
That's enough.
All right, that's
enough. You got it.
Very good.
That's your 45 years of service. You did one good thing in your time in. You get
hold on. Let me say this. He did get Trump's judges on the court too. So for judges on courts, he was very good. He had a record-setting amount of judges at that time.
Yeah, but was that him or was that just the Senate?
Well, it was him because he had to get paid. See, the Senate, because the Democrats created these rules. A lot of people, this is worth taking this down. A lot of people don't realize this, but the Democrats ran the Congress from 1954 to 1994. Okay, all those years. It didn't matter who was in the White House if he was a Republican, except under Reagan, because he was able to work with Tip O'Neill and a couple people in the Senate. But they created rules that a lot of people don't know about because they don't want to tell you, and the press isn't going to tell you. And those rules are that a lot of people used to say, well, where the hell are the Republicans? Why don't they put up, amendments to bills? Well, they do, but the Democrats made rules, and those rules said you cannot even propose an amendment to a bill on the floor of the House or Senate without going through this little committee that we have here that is ruled by Democrats, and they're never going to put your shit up. And so for all those years, like Marco Rubio, actually, I knew this because I used to be a huge fan of Newt Gingrich, and I bought like a class that he sold. It was a course that he sold years ago before the damn internet. It was all on VHS tapes, right? And I bought it, and it was pretty good. It was called To Renew America, Renewing American Civilization. And part of what he talked about, he said, so we couldn't get a word in edgewise. He goes, so what I used to do, I think I talked about this before. He says, what I used to do is I would call a special session at night. And he goes, and I would be talking, and I told the cameraman at C-SPAN, only focus on me. Don't pan the audience, just me. And they're like, okay. And so he turns around and he would talk. I think he was the minority leader at the time. Or no, he was the whip. And he would stand there and say things like, we believe that we should do X, Y, and Z. And it's why you Democrats over here, he'd look to the left and go, you Democrats just fail every single time. Do any of you have a better plan than what I have here? And you could hear crickets. And the reason why is because the audience was empty. He was the only one talking. Okay. And he wasn't doing that to be full of shit. Okay. It's what happened afterwards. So when he did that, he would finish the special session and go out in the hallway to head back to his office. And Tip O'Neill would come running, first time you ever saw him run, would come running after him and start screaming at him, what do you think you're pulling here, a bullshit thing like that? And there would always be news people in those hallways, and they'd be like, oh, they're fighting, let's get this. And they would have it on camera, and Newt would know that they were filming news right then, and he would get the whole story out. Wow, here's what we think, and you don't believe that, but you won't let us say it, until we get past this one, this one committee, and you're never going to vote it. And he goes, and that's how they got their proposals on the 11 o'clock news every night. So that's what they had to do. And Marco Rubio one time, not too long ago either, he went on a TV show. Whose show was it? It was Kimmel, or I forget whose it was. It might have been Jon Stewart. Yeah, it was Jon Stewart, as a matter of fact. That's how long ago. And he said, well, what is it with you guys? You guys, like, you filibuster everything. You would filibuster what's for lunch, and everybody's, oh, yay, the clapping seals in the audience, right? And he said, he goes, before we took over the Senate, for 12 years, he said, the Democrats had this rule, and he explained the rule. And he goes, when we got in there, we got rid of that rule because we believe in freedom, and we believe in free speech and freedom of ideas. He said, and so we thought that they should be allowed to propose amendments during bills. And he goes, and they misused it. He goes, but, that's what we believe. And he goes, now they brought it back. He goes, so we can't even propose an amendment to a bill without going through a committee that's never going to vote for any amendment that we put up that waters down their bills. And he said, the filibuster is the only tool left in the Senate to the minority party. And he goes, that's why we have all these, and Stewart had nothing to say. Now, he's partisan, but like Bill Maher, if you nail him with facts, he'll be like, yeah, I guess I agree. Yeah, so that was that. But that's what's going on. And when they get, and as a matter of fact, Nancy Pelosi, when she took over, she implemented that rule again, which is why you never think that the Republicans, have anything to say. Here we go. 3 powerful Dems sound major alarm bells over Comrade Kamala's plans to butcher social media. Yeah, they didn't do enough with Twitter, right? 3 top Dems are sounding major alarm bells over Kamala's plot to silence dissent by going after social media platforms like X. Well, screw her, right? Elon, what are they going to do? Well, already they're attacking his other businesses because of this. Elon Musk, RFK Jr., and Tulsi Gabbard are convinced that Harris has big plans to make sure you can't truly speak your mind ever again. And who can blame them? This is the same wretched woman who basically gave a thumbs up to the horrific and unprecedented Marxist censorship unfolding in Brazil. Yes, she can. No. So what? Free speech. I'm sorry, but the First Amendment doesn't say a goddamn thing about oversight and regulations on free speech. And guess what? Jade, guess what? I know you know this, but you're allowed to yell fire in a crowded theater, especially if there is a fire in a crowded theater.
Here's the thing.
That's not in the law. That's not in the ruling. Do you know that? It was in the opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. In this world, you can do anything for which you can withstand the consequences. It's not that you can't say something. It's that depending, there may be some consequences. So right. If you say something salacious about somebody, and because of that, they lose their job or whatever, there could be consequences. If you make shit up that costs somebody something, you're going to pay for it.
Right. Here's Charlie Spearing. Oh, I'm sorry. Thought you were done. Go ahead.
You can say it. What?
What's up, Linda?
What the problem that some people have, run this into saying you can't say fire in a crowded theater. Well, yeah, like you say, Rich, yes, you can, especially if there is actually a fire. Now, if you say something that people riot to get out of there, and you were saying an untruth, you're going to be held responsible for it. But the current spate of laws is nothing to do with consequences. It's opinions, and that's the biggest problem.
Right.
And so if you don't like what somebody's saying, they can't say it. And here's the question of the day. Where in the Constitution does it guarantee you the right not to be offended?
Right. Exactly so. And in
Name
fact,
that one.
I believe the First Amendment is more for speech that someone doesn't like.
Precisely.
Because you have the right to say it. But here's the difference, though. What they censored for was not speech that someone doesn't like. It was speech that the government, didn't like. For example, I would love for someone, maybe Elon can take this on. I would love for someone to do a study on how many people died from COVID because of Joe Biden's fascistic forcing of social media to censor any speech that went outside the jab is the only way to avoid. Because think about it. It got so bad that they ordered pharmacies to no longer fill prescriptions by licensed doctors for ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine and a couple others. But in other words, they wanted you to die because at the time they did that, there was no vaccine out yet. It had never been given the authorization, the emergency use authorization.
Your life is not worth as much as the narrative.
Yeah, exactly correct. And because I sat there one day and I went, this about Joe Biden, this MFer wants us to die. He wants us to die because already, if you went to the VAERS page and you looked it up, there was already there were already more people who died from the vax in the early stages of it. More people died from the vax. What's up, Bess? Thanks for coming, brother. There were more people that died from this vax than there were people that died from other vaccines throughout the years, like ever. Like in the first 6 months, they had more people that died from the Pfizer vax. And now there's a story. I think I'm going to read it tonight. Or no, I can't. That's right, because it's YouTube. Did you guys hear? I'm gonna digress a little bit. Did you hear the story that they're pushing it too, like legitimate sites like CBS? Well, legitimate, you know what I mean. They're pushing that Elon said, "I want to buy YouTube." Did you hear that?
I haven't heard anything about that. I would love to see it.
I had people say to me, people that are good with this kind of stuff, they said, "Well, he can't afford it," and I was like, maybe he can. Maybe he can, because when he changed Twitter to X, he explained that it's not only going to be Twitter under X, it's going to be all kinds of social media.
Yeah.
So I think if he was to purchase YouTube, YouTube, what do they make? Like 80 billion a year or something like that? But if he could go to other groups to also go in with him and put the money up, pony the money up, and he has money.
Bingo. Here's the thing. Of course he can afford it. Same way as he afforded Twitter. He did not pay out of his pocket for everything. He went to financiers. So
right, but he also put up a lot of Tesla stock.
Yeah, he put up a bunch, but he went out. Now, Twitter was worth so much. YouTube, if it's worth more, the financiers would be willing to go in more. So
it's worth far more. Yeah, YouTube. Look,
of course he can afford it.
Look, we conservative content makers, we bitch about YouTube because they are notorious for censoring conservative speech. However, I have not found another platform that's as good as YouTube.
There's nobody.
I know with all the features. I can't believe Rumble doesn't put it. Now, Rumble has a really nice studio package. Like their studio put together.
Yeah, but they also don't have the people on there. Now,
right, well, that's the thing. Well, they're growing, but
maybe most of the people that are on YouTube that aren't on Rumble, we really don't need anyway. But, if you want to figure out how to change, how to change the left thingamajig on your Toyota, whatever. Type it into YouTube. There's going to be a dozen videos on how
Exactly.
to do
Exactly.
it. You know,
And the thing, but it's a shame because the founder of Rumble, you heard what he said to Brussels, right?
no what?
He basically told them to go fuck themselves when they said that he has to censor certain things. He wrote a letter back and said, "We do not think in the same fascist way that you guys do." And he went on to say, he said, "We have some users who I personally despise what they say." He goes, "But they have a right to say it." And this guy's a Canadian. They also have an office down in I think Miami, well, somewhere in Florida. But you got to think, man, they're up in China, as our friend Commander likes to say. And I'm surprised that their government hasn't gone after Rumble yet.
And I remember, I don't know, a few weeks ago when Elon gave the middle finger to the boys in Brussels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he told them to sit on it and rotate. And
Right.
then they wrote him an apology. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Well, then the other one, he basically said, "You're gonna." He said, "Go fuck yourself." And he's looking around, and people are like, "Wow!" And he goes, "Look, if you're going to try to extort me for money, you're going to threaten me with money. Go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
Because and the thing was that they had such a lock. I mean, let's face it. Facebook is basically, like, I know people like to post their own shit, but Facebook is known for media companies proposing their shit, like posting all their stuff, their news stories, their video stuff like that. That's what they're mostly known for. Okay. Twitter was known for, well, the lefties, right? Being the town hall, right? The modern day town hall. And then YouTube was known for pretty much a little bit of everything. You know, because with the videos, I mean, you got the cats videos, you got business videos you can do, you got the DIY videos you can do. I mean, there's so much stuff you can do.
Music
Right?
videos.
Right. And when the government, I mean, I am shocked that more people don't talk about it. How the government, how the Biden regime forced. Now, I'm sure they didn't force them too hard. They didn't twist their arms too hard because liberals are liberals, right? But they forced them to censor speech that they didn't like. And that's the thing. It's, well, speech can be harmful. No, it cannot. And in fact, I always believe that more speech is better because think about it, like my example earlier, where they forced censorship on alternative viewpoints for treatments of COVID, right? Had Facebook killed a summit with over 200 doctors from around the world that were talking about the protocols they were using that were helping people. And this was prior to EUA being given out for the Pfizer and the other one, right? And they just cut the feed. Why? Well, it's very harmful. Wait a minute. These guys are licensed medical doctors telling the world, which means other doctors like you, right? Medical doctors like you, Jade, and to give you ideas of how to treat your patients. And they weren't bullshit right-wing conspiracy nuts. They weren't QAnon people, right? They weren't the shaman. You know, they were medical doctors that wanted to share their experiences with the world and saying, look, this thing can be beaten. Here's how you do it. We have like a 98% success rate. I remember down in Australia, that's where I read they were using ivermectin, and they said after the second dose, people's symptoms went away. Well, they weren't lying because I used it. And after the second dose on day 2, my symptoms went away. You know, I thought I was dying the day before. I had the Delta version of it, which was the worst. And I thought I was dying, but it was like 6 hours after my second dose. Poof, they vanished. So they weren't lying. Now think about elderly people with comorbidities. I mean, they could have gotten ivermectin and saved their lives.
Yeah, well, the problem, you know what the problem is with ivermectin? The biggest problem with ivermectin, it's cheap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
nobody's making money.
Merck Sharp and Merck, they're the ones that invented it.
Yeah.
And they just they just went over to India to try to buy up all the factories that are manufacturing because it's off the patent right now. It's been so many years. And they're trying to buy it all up and get rid of it. Why? Because they have another drug that's coming out to do the same thing, and pretty much it's the same ingredients. Maybe they added, I don't know, some extra water. I don't know, but they just want to make a killing on it.
Yeah, I know Pfizer came out with something called Pfizer-Mectin.
Did they really?
They did.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't know much about it, but basically it was an
I wouldn't trust anything coming from Pfizer ever again. Ever.
Yeah. It was, yeah. And Robert Malone, Dr. Robert Malone.
I know.
Anybody wants to have an interesting few minutes spent, look up some videos by Dr. Robert Malone.
Yep.
He is the inventor of mRNA technology.
He created the protocol for it. Yes.
Yeah, he is the actual inventor. And then when Pfizer came out with their vaccine, and this is on record, this is a suppressed video, but it is on record. I watched it. And he's basically saying, we did this and we were working with this for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And we had problems with the vaccine that we couldn't solve. And it just really wasn't ready for human trials.
Well,
and then when we heard him, and hang on a sec. And when we heard that Pfizer came out with the vaccine, we said, oh, that's great. Pfizer research must have solved the problems with the vaccine that we were seeing. And then he stops for a second and he looks into the camera and he says, they hadn't.
Well, here's what happened. Okay. When they tried to get the mRNA into the human body, your immune system kept killing it. So they're like, all right, how the hell do we get it into the body to do its thing? To create the little machine, to create the protein spot, all that bullshit, right? And so what they did is you would know better than me. I think the number's 12. There's 12 immunoreceptors in the human body.
Oh gosh, I haven't thought about that since medical school.
Well, get this. There's 12. Let's just go with 12. I could be wrong, guys, so don't hold me to that. But there's 12 immunoreceptors, and each one of those can give immunity to hundreds, if not thousands, of different diseases. Okay, it's how your immune system works. And so what they did is they isolated which immunoreceptor was killing the mRNA, and they put something in the medicine to kill that immunoreceptor, which is why, now I saw your face, you know exactly where I'm going with this, which is why it was the Lancet and the Food and Chemical Toxicology Journal at the same time came out with studies. They didn't collaborate. They were two separate studies, but they came out at the same time. And the food and toxicology one also had a Japanese doctor who pretty much concluded the same thing and tagged on to theirs. And here's what they said: that people that got the vaccine, that they were 100 times more likely to get certain diseases than people who did not. They the one didn't explain why, because they killed the immunoreceptor, because they might have been taken to court for that. How did you know that? All that bullshit, right? So what happened was the Lancet also came out and said that there were people that were in remission, cancerous remissions, and others that now they're out of remission, and they believe it's because that immunoreceptor, because it's all tied to that same immunoreceptor. And
we'll never prove that.
Did you know that Dr. Malone was also harmed by the vax? He got the vax and he has long COVID, and he's been dealing with it ever since. I heard him on the radio on the David Webb show about 6 months ago, and I never knew it, but he said, I suffer from long COVID from the vax. He said I was harmed by it, and he said, and so that's why he is really up on that. And Dr. Peter McCullough, you know who he is? He's the heart guy. He's like another. Yeah, he's like another Robert Malone on this. He was like one of the premier guys. And then I'll never forget, because I was there and saw it like live, when it happened. Malone tweeted out on Twitter, not X, Twitter, saying it seems that the mRNA is not working the way it was intended. So why don't we go back to the drawing board and start treating people with therapeutics? Within an hour, he was off Twitter. They banned him, and then all the others subsequently banned him as well, which tells me, it was the Biden administration that said to all these, get rid of him because he's saying something we don't want to be known. And then you get into conspiracy theory, or is it a conspiracy as to why the Biden government wanted as many people to get vaxxed as possible? They don't give a rat's ass about anyone but themselves. I mean, he himself, Dementia Joe, is a sociopathic narcissist. And he doesn't give a shit about anyone but himself. And maybe Hunter, because Hunter made him money. But
I would say I don't think they want us dead. The issue is they just really don't care if we die. I don't think they care one way or the other, as long as the money keeps flowing.
I can't remember who it was, Jade, but there was a woman who she went out on YouTube and she went out on Twitter, and she did a video and she said, look, I'm a job recruiter, but it's for very high-end people, like CEOs and above, right? Presidents, CEOs, founders, all that. She said, and she goes, we have a very good business. She says, and right now, she said, we're getting more calls by the top of the top who are saying, we expect that we're going to have to do major hiring over the next 3 to 5 years. And she was like, with every one of them, she said, I asked why, and they were, because of this vaccine. Because, like, when you're a billionaire, okay, you have access to information that a lot of other people don't have, because you got that kind of cash and influence, right? So if you're a captain of industry, a lot of people you're going to work with a lot of different people, and you're going to get the info you need. And so this is how she explained it. And so she said that they told her, yes, people are going to be dropping like flies within 5 years. And they have been. They just don't report it anymore. But you saw all the athletes that were dropping.
Yeah, the 18-year-olds that
they called it mysterious deaths. Yeah, they didn't want to blame COVID or the vac.
That they suddenly just died. Yeah.
And so all this shit. And I think it's because of the people that were persistent and the people that were treated like political prisoners, right? Like prisoners of war, if you will, on social media, including this platform, right? I think it's because of those people that kept fighting to get the word out, which is why they're not doing the bird flu right now and locking us down again, because they were thinking about it. But I think they know they would never get away with it again.
Yeah, they were more than thinking about it. And I think in an election year, you're going to pull that.
Oh, I sincerely thought they were. Let's get to the next one. Oh, yeah, here's the one. Okay. Here we go. From Blaze. Judge sets date. Mershon, this is the scumbag. Judge sets date for Trump's sentencing after the election to avoid appearance of tampering. Too late. You converted 34 state charges that the statute of limitations ran out 6 years prior to federal election felonies. I think there is an appearance of tampering with the election.
You mean the guy that would not allow defense witnesses? That one?
Yeah. You're right. He allows Alvin Bragg to convert those state documents charged misdemeanors to that the statute of limitations ran out. That's a fact, right? He allows him to then convert them to felonies at the federal level for election law violations.
Hey,
but then the Trump lawyers tried. What's that?
You got something going on. You got your video playing again.
My video?
Yeah, your video, the intro video, it seems to be playing now.
Not me.
Oh, wait a minute. No, that's me.
Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't think so.
I think
now, 9 out of 10 times I would have agreed with you because I do that stuff. I think about it. Tonight, I read half the first article and I wasn't on the page for everybody to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry. That was my technical glitch. Never mind.
Yeah. So he allows them into the federal system, and then the Trump lawyers, they want to bring in a witness who was a federal elections executive And the judge said, no, you can't bring him in. Well, why not? Because I said so. All right. So the judge also said he would consider tossing out the convictions over a Supreme Court decision. That I don't believe. I think he's just saying that. And if Trump loses, right? So former President Donald Trump chalked up another victory in court after Judge Juan Merchan said he would postpone his sentencing until after the election to avoid an appearance of tampering. Critics hoped that the former president would face sentencing ahead of the election so that it could be used as a cudgel to beat down his supporters. Exactly. Merchan agreed in a 4-page decision to the request from Trump's attorneys on Friday. I think he knows that. I think that he got some of the internal polling, I think, from some Democrat friends of his. I mean, his daughter's making millions off of fundraising for them. And I think he knows it looks pretty good that Trump's going to win because Trump has the best chance at the Electoral College right now. All right. Kamala has to win 3 states. And out of those 3, Trump only has to win 1 if the polling remains the way it has for the last 6 months. But I always say, polling is like snapshots, right? It's election day that matters. Quote, adjourning decision on the motion and sentencing, if such is required, should dispel any suggestion that the court will have issued any decision or imposed sentence either to give an advantage to or to create a disadvantage for any political party or any candidate for any office, he wrote. He's already done that. He's had a plethora of those moments. Think about it. He wouldn't allow the executive from the Federal Elections Commission to testify on behalf of Trump, but he allowed Stormy effing Daniels, the porn whore, he allowed her to get up there. She had no material evidence to add to the case. She just wanted to embarrass Trump, and she did, and he allowed it. Come on, guys. There was no impropriety when the number 3 man in the Department of Justice quits his job there and goes and takes a lackey job down in Alvin Bragg's Manhattan District Attorney's office. Bullshit. And he didn't say anything. The judge didn't say anything about it. The former president had been convicted of falsifying business records about a hush payment. And you know what? It's funny. They say that he falsified these records by saying they were legal expenses. Well, they had to repay the lawyer, Cohen. They had to repay him because he put his own money out. Trump did not pay her the money. It was Cohen who did. But yet Trump's the one with charges. So the Trump organization wrote it as a legal expense. Well, when you have to reimburse a lawyer for legal work done, that's called a legal expense. All 34 times. It's called a legal expense, people. There should be no sentencing in a Manhattan DA election interference witch hunt, said Stephen Chung, the spokesman for the Trump campaign. As mandated by the United States Supreme Court, this case, along with all other Harris-Biden hoaxes, should be dismissed. And you know what? Think about it. They saw people from Alvin Bragg's office going into the White House. They saw Fannie Mae and her lover going into the White House. I mean, all these goddamn things. Did you hear that Judge Chukka was freaking out today? Because in her case, because she was yelling at a Trump lawyer, and the Trump lawyer pretty much tried to yell back at her because she's an asshole. And she was pissed. She was saying, basically, I'm going to take my ball and go home because the Supreme Court won't allow me to do what I want to do. That's basically what she said. Unreal.
Then take your ball and go home. We'll miss you.
Yeah.
We'll really miss you. We'll think about you.
Yeah. It's like if I promised to miss you, couldn't you leave?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Will you leave? Here we go.
Yeah. How about bye-bye?
So Elon connects the dots in Dems election fraud plot, and he's spot on, 100%. So it says, if you claim to want to save precious democracy, shouldn't securing elections be the number 1 priority? Well, come on. They don't want to save a democracy, which we don't live in, by the way. Because without secure elections, there is no precious democracy to even save, right? This should be the question every media hack grills the Dems on over and over again, but they never will because they're in on it. Why? Because let's face it, they're just a weaponized arm of the Dem party here to do their bidding. I call them the stenographers of the Democratic Party. The truth is, nobody in this country works harder to turn our elections into a chaotic free-for-all than the Democrats. They don't even want basic security measures like photo ID. They fight tooth and nail against it. As a matter of fact, they work to make sure illegals get what they need to actually vote.
1% of over 26,000. That's how many migrants our sources say have received work permits and Social Security cards in Chicago. It's not clear how many applications have been submitted, though as of December 29th, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services had only processed work permits and temporary protected status applications for 1,480 Chicago new arrivals. That's according to city data obtained by CBS2. Once those applications are processed, they also need to be approved. Sources tell us that only 284 asylum seekers in Chicago have gotten work permits. 279 have received their Social Security card.
How do you get a Social Security card if you're an illegal? How does that
California?
happen? Yeah, meanwhile, nearly every American and their brother has an ID. So why are Dems so dead set against a simple? Because it'll stop the cheating. The answer is obvious. They want illegals and other left-wing foreigners on visas to feel free to vote without the hassle of proving who they are. That's exactly it. You need an ID to get a membership. We've all been through that, to a tanning salon, to buy cigarettes, to buy liquor. You need it to fly in a plane. You need it for everything. But
are illegals being registered to vote?
Yes, they are. And here's how it's happening.
Lita Mitchell.
You have
I know who she is.
You have them going into the Department of Motor Vehicles, or whatever it's called in your state, Department of Transportation.
I think Cleta was the one who was in charge of the legal team down in Georgia after 2020.
Department of Driver Services. And 31 years ago, Congress passed a law saying that states must, when issued a driver's license, that people must be given the voter registration forms. They must be given those forms at the DMV, or if you go to sign up for food stamps or welfare benefits, that wherever people interact with these two types of government agencies, they must be registered to vote. And so that law also requires that states must accept and use the federal voter registration form. Well, that form just has a box to check. Are you a citizen? And we have ample evidence over a number of years where people will check the box, no, I'm not a citizen.
Imagine,
and they get sent over and registered to vote anyway.
Yep.
Well, now what you have, and I have had reports, people have seen this.
Do you know why that is? Because the Democrat that gave them the form said, don't worry about that. Just go on and register.
All over the country, when they have been going in, being just normal people going in to get their driver's license renewed or a tag for their new car, and they see these clusters of people who clearly don't speak English. In Michigan, a fellow sent me something about a group, and this woman had a big sign around her neck that said interpreter, and she was taking them in to get their driver's licenses or their ID cards. And I have absolutely no reason to think that they're not automatically being added to the voter rolls, because Michigan has a new law that you have to opt out. You have to opt out in Georgia. And these people don't even speak English. How are they even going to know that they've been added to the voter rolls? Because they're automatically added. Yep. And once they get on those voter rolls, it's very difficult to get them off. And the two ways that states have historically confirmed identity and residency were with the driver's license and with the Social Security number. Well, you don't have to be a citizen to get either of those. And in 19 states, illegals are issued driver's licenses. It's been a big push by.
You can thank Bill Clinton for that, because he signed the motor voter law. He signed for that. And that was the beginning of this, because they knew, get this, he signed the motor voter law because they knew that the Democrats in 1993 were going to pass the National Voter Registration Act. And among other things, the National Voter Registration Act, what it does is it forces all 50 secretaries of state that they have to keep certain types of people on the voter rolls for years before they can purge them. And that is people who died and people who moved out of the state. In other words, people who would never know that they just Voted. And so the Democrats, I'd say this a lot. So for you guys that have heard this spiel, I'm sorry, but we got new people. So what happens is the Democrats will use, and there was a guy during, let's see, it was during the 2018 governor's race in Georgia. And the Secretary of State, Republican, he caught Stacey Abrams and her Fair Fight organization cheating by they were going online, they were pulling the records of people who either died or left the state, and they were confirming it by going to the USPS site and seeing if they moved out, because a lot of people won't right away re-register in a new county or in another state, but they do want their mail to be transferred, right? So they were confirming that, and then for dead people, they were confirming it by going to the Social Security site and seeing if they were deceased, because it's all public information, and plus they know they have friends there, right, that work there. So this is how they get all these people that they can, and mail-in ballots. Holy crap. Mail-in ballots was a godsend for the Democrats, because now they so in other words, this Republican Secretary of State caught her group just making phony voter registration forms, just filling them out by these people that they got because the NVRA, the National Voter Registration Act, allowed them to do it because they were still in the rolls. And the Secretary of State couldn't say anything. Why? Because Stacey Abrams, was running for governor, and so was he. It was Brian Kemp, who's now the governor. He beat her, and he couldn't say anything because she would have screamed racism, that he was prejudicing the voter rolls, and all that he was voter suppression, all that bullshit that she always cries. And so he couldn't say anything then, but he said after the election, he pointed it out. So they cheat nonstop, and they're going to cheat this time as well. A hates. I'm doing a hates. What's a hates? I don't know what a hates is. Tell me, Linda. What's a hates? I don't know.
Is that kind of like you, bigot?
It might be, but she's from Australia, that fantasy land that Commander always talks about. Yeah, we love you.
They tell me in certain parts of Australia, the C word is used in a very friendly manner.
Well, it's in the UK. It is. I don't know about Australia.
Not everywhere in the UK. In Scotland,
yeah,
it apparently is, and in Australia, and not everywhere in Australia, but some places in Australia. I think, is it down south?
Yeah, Commander always teases Linda, saying, "Yeah, that fantasy land they call Australia, it doesn't really exist."
Well, don't you fall off the edge of the world before you get there?
Yeah, Commander always said that because they're so far away. What are they going to do? Hop on a flight and punch you in the nose?
Yeah. Yeah, you fall off the edge of the world before you get there. Is that the way?
Yeah, that's the way.
I mean, you believe in a flat Earth, don't you, Rich?
There you go. I'm a flat earther. Yeah.
There you go.
Where is Bex?
Where is what?
Bex.
Bex?
Yeah, Bex. She's Bex Rocks. That's the name she goes by. She was usually on Jimmy's stream.
Okay.
My brother, and she would come in, and one day she was probably messing with him because she's an intelligent girl, but she was probably messing with him, saying that she believed the Earth was flat. And so we call her Flat Earther now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Do we got any more down here we can talk about? Yeah.
I think you did the ones down there.
Yeah, well, we didn't do Great Replacement, but you know what? Everybody, the headline's enough. Great Replacement job shock. 1.3 million native-born Americans just lost their jobs and were replaced by 635,000 immigrants, many of them illegal. Some of them.
No, Rich, that's the Great Replacement theory. It's a conspiracy theory.
It's racist conspiracy theory, right? Even though they're the ones that always talk about it.
Yeah, racist conspiracy theory.
Yeah. They call it demographics is destiny. That's how they say it.
I was going to say earlier when we were talking about the IDs that, these lib idiots, they start talking about that and they say, oh, well, the minorities, they can't get, yeah, they can't get, they say that, these minorities, they can't get IDs. And that to me is the most racist thing that I've ever heard.
Too stupid. They want Democrats. Black people are.
Okay.
You know what gets me is when you have a black Democrat politician who basically saying black people are too stupid to get an ID. And I remember, who was it? It was one was Mark Dice, but then there was another guy that went around. Maybe it was Benny. Yeah, Benny Johnson. He went around and said, "So you got an ID?" He was going up to black people in California. You got an ID? They're like, "Well, yeah. Why? You need to see it?" Like, no. I just wanted to know because I had heard that black people have a hard time getting ID, and the woman was like, "What? Why? Who says that?" And he goes, "Oh, Democrats. They think they." And she rolled her eyes. She goes, "All right, now I know what you're talking about." And they're like, "Yeah, you can't." Like most of them were like, "You can't do anything without an ID. What are you talking about?"
Okay. There was a comment, and I think you put it up. It was something about silly cunt. For some reason, it is not. It's been erased from the feed.
No, it's right here. It's right there. But she wrote CNUT.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay, but
yeah, because she knows that
I'm trying to find it in the.
we would get a problem, and we would have a problem with YouTube if that went through.
Yeah,
the right
that's.
way.
I was trying to find it in the.
Yeah.
Feed, and I thought maybe it was automatically.
It's just being funny. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 words you cannot say, and you'll be booted right away. I don't. That enough said.
Well, one's the N word.
Right.
What's
And the other one's the F word. So not FUCK. It's resorting to a bundle of sticks. You can't say it. Do not say it. Don't ever say it on YouTube. You'll be booted right away.
Resorting to a bundle of sticks.
Yes. A gay bundle of sticks. Did you ever hear where that term came from?
No.
Why they called gay people that word? In medieval England, they used to burn witches at the stake before it was here. And what they did was the witches, they would be above so that everybody could see the man or woman that they were burning. And down below was the kindling sticks. They were just a bundle of sticks that they would light on fire. And in England, it was against the law to be a homosexual. And so they would convict them of being homosexual, and they wouldn't even give them the dignity of being above with the witch. They put them down below in the kindling and burned them there.
Interesting.
Which is a horrific thing to do. And that's where the term came from.
Well, the other thing is, Vamps is right. In England, that's what they call a cigarette, or some people call a cigarette.
Yes, because what is a cigarette? It is a thin stick, is it not? That you light on fire.
A burning ember.
It's a burning stick that you light on fire.
My understanding is it means burning ember.
Yes.
The actual meaning of the word.
Yes. Thank you, Linda. All right, let's get off that because we're dangerously, perilously on the edge. So,
what if I start shouting them out?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Mass immigration raises housing costs, strains healthcare services in middle America. This is not sustainable. We knew this shit the minute that people in New York, in Chicago, places in California, when they were complaining that Biden was shipping tens of thousands of illegals to their blue cities. And they say, no, they weren't. It was Republicans. No, it was Biden. He was bringing them in. And the Texas governor and I think it was the Arizona governor at the time were shipping them to the blue, what did they call them? Sanctuary cities, right? Because they were like, well, you guys are the ones that said you got to open arms for them. We can't handle it anymore. We get 10,000 a day. You guys are going to get 10,000 in 6 months. Screw you. Figure it out. And so the people there started complaining. And they said, we're the ones that pay the taxes in this city for the resources that we're no longer getting because you're giving them to Joe Biden's illegals. And that's a big ass reason why a lot of Black Americans and Hispanic Americans are not voting Democrat anymore. That's one of the big reasons. The other reason is most people vote their wallets. And though Trump was famous for his mean tweets, your wallet was thicker when he was president. So let's see. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris's wave of mass immigration is raising housing costs, straining healthcare services, and filling public schools in middle American cities like Springfield, Ohio. Breitbart News has chronicled for over a year, the Biden-Harris administration has helped flood Springfield with a population of less than 60,000 residents with roughly 20,000 Haitian migrants. Oof. For months, Senator J.D. Vance from Ohio, now former President Donald Trump's running mate, has been calling attention to Springfield as an example of mass immigration raising housing costs for Americans. Can you believe? And you know what? Kamala doesn't give a shit. This self-imposed disaster is crushing the job prospects of our citizens, making it more difficult for Ohio families to find homes and draining school service programs funded by American taxpayers, Vance said last year. A report by the New York Times, when you lose the New York Times, a report from the New York Times recently admitted that mass immigration has made Springfield's housing issue much worse. Michelle Lee Hall, executive director of Springfield's Housing Authority, said that the affordability problem has been aggravated by landlords pivoting to Haitians who were willing to pay higher rent. You know why? Because Joe Biden was giving them the money. That's why. Here in Springfield, the new homeless are people who can't afford to pay $2,000 to $3,000 a month in rent, she added. For emphasis, because the Biden administration is giving them money. I saw a video of this poor woman, and she's not old or anything. It was a black woman, and she was a business owner. And she talked about, she was sitting in her car, and it was a short. And she said, I'm selling my truck now. She had a food truck, and that's what her business was for years. And she said, I did really well. She said, it cost me $25,000 to buy this truck. She said, back then, I couldn't get a loan because I was black, and I believe her. She said, I couldn't get a loan because I was black. And she said, so I worked very, very hard to make that money, and I paid cash for it eventually. And I was so proud. She goes, so now I'm selling because I'm going into a different business. She said, and a man came up and approached me and wanted to, he called, and then he came over, he wanted to buy it. And she said, and he was an illegal alien, and he was very upfront and told me I'm an illegal. He said, but I have a paper here from the government, and they're going to give me the money for your truck. And she said, so here I am, I'm thinking, and she started crying eventually, and she was not the type of woman that would cry when you heard her. And she said, so here I am thinking, I worked so hard to get the money to start that business. She said, and here I am, we have someone who isn't even here for a week, and he's got a piece of paper. She goes, I took the paper to my banker, and they said, yes, it's legit. And we'll work it out for you if you want to go through us to do the transfer of the truck, to purchase it and all that. We'll get the money for you. And then she's tearing up. She goes, how is it possible that someone who just got here didn't have to work a day to get that money because my tax dollars are paying for it and your tax dollars are paying for it? And I sat there and I felt so bad for her because she's absolutely right. And I thought, there's a woman who's voting for Trump. You get fucked too many times. You change, it's like the color green. Everybody loves the color green in this country. And I think it took a long time for certain groups to say, you know what, this is bullshit. And we have to thank Dementia Joe, Jade. We have to thank Dementia Joe for actually, I did it again. Goddamn. We have to thank Dementia Joe for making this possible, because if he wasn't so goddamn terrible at being president and Kamala at being vice president, I don't think this exchange, this new America First coalition that's happening between the RFK Jr. Democrats, the independents, and the Trump people, I don't think it would have happened. Because they always said, well, is it bad enough? And it wasn't for a lot of years. Like Bongino likes to talk about New York. He grew up in New York. He's a Queens kid. And he said, during the Dinkins time, is it bad enough? And Rudy Giuliani ran and he lost. He lost the mayor's race. And they were like, it's just not bad enough. But then when it got bad enough, he won. And I think right now things are bad enough that a lot of people are finally waking up and going, you know what? Things were great under Trump. Didn't like the way he talked. Didn't like his demeanor and all that. Personally, I loved it, but that's me. And so you now have a lot of people that's why Trump always underpolls. The first time in 2016, he underpolled because they didn't think about this one demographic no one thought about. And that was the people who never voted in their life. They never voted before. Well, how do you poll someone like that? They're not registered. You don't know. But they all came out for Trump, and there were millions of them. They came out and voted for Trump. Well, this time around, you got the same problem. You have Hispanic and black voters and other minorities that are saying, you know what? I'm not going to say to these people that are calling me on the phone that I'm voting for Trump, but I'm voting for Trump. Because you see it all over the place. One particular house flipper in Springfield told the Times that of his 400 housing units, 8 in 10 are occupied by newly arrived Haitian migrants. It is not only housing costs that are causing problems for Springfield, brought on by mass immigration. Healthcare services are being pushed to the brink, where once 15-minute consultations are now 45 minutes in some cases, as English-speaking healthcare workers navigate how to communicate with an influx of French-speaking Haitian migrants. This is not sustainable, the chief executive of a healthcare center told the Times, noting that many of her staff had left following burnout. You imagine this? And Joe Biden doesn't give a rat's ass. Neither does Kamala. The center has had to hire translators, like you said, Jade, has had to hire translators and French-speaking staff, which has skyrocketed costs. They don't care about that. You know why? Because they don't think about that, the extra cost. Springfield's public schools are also seeing the results of mass immigration. Registration day in the Springfield School District, the Times reports, was filled with the families of Haitian migrant children. Let me tell you something. If I snuck into another country, I would not be going to register my kids in school. I'd be afraid. But you know what? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have made it so that you don't have to be afraid. We welcome you. Here's your Biden phone, and here's a bag of goodies with a credit card in there. Actually, it's a debit card. Of the almost 350 new students enrolled in the district this year, the overwhelming majority are the children of newly arrived Haitian migrants. God bless them. School administrators are concerned about how the district will deal with the growing influx of migrant children. According to the latest figures from the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, the Biden-Harris administration has welcomed more than 9 million immigrants into the states. Guys, they're saying it's 18 million, but they're also some are reporting upwards to 30 because they have to account for the gotaways. From the start of 2021, the equivalent of importing nearly half the population of Honduras in less than 4 years, which I'll bet a lot of them are from Honduras. Thoughts? Concerns?
I mean, what can you say?
It's unbelievable.
Hey,
Jeremiah.
I'm living in a community that is 20 minutes from, 25 minutes from where a Venezuelan gang has occupied a large apartment complex.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't happen in the United States. Apparently, I don't know if you heard, Rich, but apparently they did the same thing in Chicago, same gang.
Yeah. Well, you saw the one guys. There were the guys that beat up those police officers in New York. They all got on a plane. How do people that just got here have no money? How do they get on a plane to fly to California?
Well, they got money. They got money, and I'm not even talking about the money that the government gives them. These people are hooked up.
Well, think about this. It costs, I think it's like between $15,000 and $30,000 to the coyotes to get you in.
Yeah, these people are all hooked up.
So how the hell are they getting that kind of...
They're being brought in here, and not all of them, but how many unaccompanied military-age males have come into this country? They've got connection to cartels. They've got connections. So no, and as I recall it, those 3 guys that beat up the couple of police officers, they hightailed it to Los Angeles, but I think they caught them. I think
they got caught. Yeah, I did a story on it.
Yeah,
they got caught.
I think they got them. Now, God knows what happened after that. But and you know who's big into bringing these people in is the Catholic Church.
Isn't that something?
Well, no,
Isn't
it
that
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, isn't that
It
something?
makes perfect sense because the Catholic Church has been pretty much hemorrhaging attendance
Yep.
for decades.
Yep.
And what religion are most of the population of Mexico, Central, and South America?
Right. Right. They're Catholic.
So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and plus we have a communist pope. Pope Francis Pope Francis was a South American socialist, is what he was.
He's not communist. He's just being neighborly.
Yeah.
Ask Tim Walsh, he'll tell you.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I know. He was a South American socialist, and guess who revived him? He was put there in obscurity, and guess who revived him and gave him like a pardon, if you will. My favorite pope, John Paul II. John Paul II is my favorite because he worked with Margaret Thatcher. Lady Thatcher, loved her. Still do to this day. I still read some stuff about her. I love her. But Lady Thatcher and Ronald Reagan to take down the wall and to take down communist Soviet Union. Yeah, they worked together to do that, and Pope John Paul worked with them because the Pope had a lot of say. You know, the Pope, a lot of people in this world are Catholics. I used to be, but not anymore.
Yeah, I'm a recovered Catholic myself.
Yeah. My parents sentenced me to 12 years of Catholic school. Yeah.
Yeah, the nuns really like
the
nuns really like their rulers.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the story? I was in grade school, and Sister Bernadette was walking backwards down the aisle because there were some people that were laughing in front of me, and she was going towards them, and she reached back and accidentally grabbed my shirt and yanked it, and it was a brand new shirt, and tore the shirt. And she turned around and she realized she was wrong, and so she apologized to me, and she said, "See me after class." So I'm like, "Oh, so I'm in trouble now." So I go up after class. I go, "Yeah, sister." And she goes, "I'm very sorry for that." She goes, I made a mistake. She goes, "Tell your mother that I will pay for the shirt just to tell me how much." I went, "Okay." So I go home, and I was a good mile and a half. We lived from the church, right, or from the school and church. And so I go home and I tell my mom. So my mother goes, "All right, let's go to the convent." So as we're walking, because my mother did not drive, my mother slapped me the entire way there.
So you must have done something wrong.
She thought I did something wrong. I'm come on, Ma. I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. She goes, "Well, we'll just see about that, and we'll let the sister tell." You know, I'm like, ah. So I get down there, and we knock on the convent door, and another nun comes, Sister Pauline, and she said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "Yes, I'm here to see Sister Bernadette." She goes, "Can I have your name?" She said, "Yeah, Mrs. Welsh." And so she goes, "Oh, okay, fine." So she goes in, and Sister Bernadette comes to the door, and she says, "Oh, Mrs. Welsh, I just wanted to tell you that I'm so sorry." Said, "Your son behaves very well in my class, and he's doing well. I accidentally grabbed him by accident when there were two others that were being so disruptive. I will pay for the shirt. I really apologize. He didn't do anything wrong." And my mother goes, "Oh no, sister, I just wanted to make sure that he was telling me the truth." And she smiled, and she goes, "Don't worry about it. It's okay. We'll get him another shirt." And she went, "Are you sure?" You know, all that bullshit. So then we start walking home, and my mother slapped me all the way home too.
Just for good measure?
Yes, because I was the one that made her walk 3 miles back and forth.
Oh, okay. So
now she slapped me
on the way home because you made her go out of the house and walk to the common.
Yes, and walk.
Yeah, well, okay, that
mile and a half each way. Yes.
Yeah, I got a good story. Junior high. I can't remember her name. Young nun, red-haired, and
you guys did nicknames, right?
What's that?
You guys did nicknames, right? We had this very large nun that we called Tank, Sister Tank. And then there was one that was the meanest sumbitch I ever met. We called her Sister Attila the Nun. That's what we called her. Yeah.
No, this was good because junior high. Okay, I'm telling you, junior high. I was like, maybe 13, and she's making moves on me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I'm not quite
None?
understanding what's going on. And it was
Yeah.
only much later, and I went, wow. It's only much later when I thought about the interactions that I had with her.
Wow. How about that?
And I mean, nothing ever happened, but
Well, I was a choir boy, and no priest ever, assaulted me, but I attribute to that to I was an ugly kid. So let me get back to it. Let's see. There you go. So what do marijuana, the death penalty, and fracking have in common? Harris shifted positions on them. This is another one you wanted to talk about. As California's AG, Kamala Harris successfully defended the death penalty in court, despite her past crusade against it. As a new senator, she proposed to abolish cash bail, a reversal from when she chided San Francisco judges for making it cheaper to commit crimes by setting bail amounts too low. Can you imagine? It's like Joe Biden. He changed all his shit too. And now, as vice president and the Democratic presidential nominee, Harris's campaign insists that she does not want to ban fracking, even though she literally said it. We have the videos. And oil and gas extraction process, even though that was precisely her position just a few years ago when she first pursued the White House. Politicians often recalibrate in the face of shifting public opinions and circumstances, which I don't have a problem with, to be honest with you, because you're supposed to represent the people. And if the people change their mind, you can change yours, unless it's unconstitutional, and then you don't do that.
but you don't preface your remarks by saying I haven't changed my position on anything.
Right, exactly. And plus, you don't like for example, if the country, if the United States wants if your constituents want the federal government to create an abortion law, you don't push for an abortion law because it's a state thing. It's not a federal thing. There's nothing in Article 1, Section 8, the enumerated powers it's known as. There's nothing in there that says you can do it. But, if there is something that would be constitutional and your constituents all say, this is what I want, then you push for it. Across 2 decades of elected office and now seeking the presidency for the second time, Harris has not hesitated to stake out expedient and at times contradictory positions as she climbed the political ladder. Harris's litany of policy reversals is opening her to attacks by Republicans and testing the strength of her pitch to voters as a truth teller who is more credible than former President Donald Trump. Yeah, they still say, Trump lies all the time. I don't think the guy lies. I think it's the way he talks that they don't like it. He's the greatest guy on the planet. No, he isn't. Joey is. That's the way they call a Trump lie.
Yeah,
I paid the guy $1,000 after taxes. He only got $982. You're a fucking liar. That's a Trump lie.
Yeah, no, it's how you define the lie.
Exactly.
The best one was I remember we talked about this last week or the week before. He says something about his red tie, and there's a whole article comes out the next day about how he lied because it's not a red tie, it's more off maroon.
It's off maroon. It's not red. Yeah,
it's not red.
It's their lie.
And by the way, thanks, Jeremiah. I know why I was missing a few of those chats, because I had mine set on top messages.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I had people say, like, they comment on my videos and they go, yeah, you're going to delete my comment because you didn't agree with it. And I'm like, moron, nobody deleted your comment. You got to go up top and click new or top posts. It's there. So stop it.
But YouTube, I'm convinced, deletes comments to your videos, because that happened to me. Not for a long time, though.
They may have, but here's the thing, though. I have a section. Maybe I should remove them. Hey, what's up, Liquid? Yeah, I have a section in YouTube Studio. They allow you to block certain words, like in the chat. Because if somebody's going to use like a word that could get me kicked off the channel, I'm going to block it, right?
Sure.
So there's the communists were coming into the channel and causing all kinds of hell. It was my brother's communists who were driving him nuts, and then he blocked them all. So they started coming into mine, which they had no reason to. I had nothing to do with my brother's channel at the time, right? And so they were coming in there, and they all said the same certain types of words. And so I just blocked those words. And it made it so that their comments didn't come through. So maybe you put a word up that was one of those.
Could have been.
Yeah, and it was like simple words too, but they all used the same phrase. It was like they all got, the same facts that day of what the terms were to use. I routinely go to comment sections and it'll say 2 comments and show nothing below a video. On mine? Liquid, you talking on mine? How about that? Well, you know what happens too? That happens if the original poster deletes it. Yeah, that'll happen. For some weird reason, it'll delete their post. My nose is itching for some goddamn reason. It'll delete their post, but it won't. Yeah, it won't delete the count. As a whole, have been getting worse on YouTube. Yeah. Well, if Elon does buy it, which he said he wants to buy YouTube, if he does buy it, then free speech will come back. Yeah, it will definitely come back.
One can hope and wish.
Yeah. Her shifts, including on matters that she has framed as moral issues, could raise doubts about her convictions as she is reintroducing herself to the public after taking the reins of the campaign from President Joe Biden. Look, they dragged his ass off kicking and screaming with Jill right behind him, with a handful of grapes and a little Matlock book, who last month dropped out of the race. He didn't drop out. They booted his ass. In addition to reversing course on fracking and cash bail, Harris has changed tack on issues including health care. She supported a plan to eliminate private insurance. And guys, she's going to do it. Immigration and gun control. She wants the Medicare for all. She's always pushed Medicare for all, and she will push it again. She'll push it. Trust me, she'll push it. This is why I tell everybody, look, you're a liberal, you're an independent, but you're going to vote Trump because you know that Trump will do a better job than these clowns, right? You have to vote down ballot Republican. Hold your flipping nose. Hold your nose and vote, because without Republicans in Congress, with the majority in Congress, both houses, Trump can't do anything, pretty much.
They'll block him.
Yeah, he won't be able to do anything. If the House goes Democrat, which it might, Hakeem Jeffries already promised they're going to impeach him on day one. I mean, this is the new modern day Democratic Party. They're going to tell 100 million Americans, probably more this time around. They're going to tell 100 million plus Americans that we don't give a shit that you just voted this guy in. Fuck you. We're going to impeach him. And if the Senate goes Dem as well, we lose Trump. Then they'll take care of J.D. Vance, and then whoever the speaker is moves up. That might be
Hakeem Jeffries for president. Oh.
No, yeah, I know. Can you imagine a Hakeem Jeffries? Look his father up sometime. He's spitting image, and I don't mean looks. His philosophy is spitting image of his father.
Hakeem Jeffries. Okay, is it Halloween? Because you just scared the crap out of me.
What do you mean?
Hakeem Jeffries for parent.
Oh yeah. His father's a big time racist preacher, and Hakeem is the same. He just has to tone it down when he's in Congress.
Yeah, that's like putting on the scariest costume in the world and sneaking up behind me. That's bad stuff.
I didn't realize that was happening.
Yeah, YouTube does weird things with comments.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Liz Cheney just got flattened.
Couldn't happen to a nicer lady.
I know. She just got flattened by J.D. Vance steamrolling machine. Is there a video here? Because I'd prefer. Yeah, there it is.
Big endorsement. Liz Cheney endorsed Kamala Harris.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And it's so interesting, isn't it, that every failed warmonger in the established D.C., let's just say machine, is behind Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
That the peacemakers are behind Trump and Vance. Blessed are the peacemakers, is what the scriptures say.
They tell us that Trump's going to start winning.
Your thoughts, JD?
Well, maybe the best thing, not the very best thing, but a very good thing that I could say about the next presidency of Donald J. Trump is that he's going to make sure that people like Liz Cheney are laughed out of the Oval Office instead of rewarded, because this is a person This is a person whose entire career has been about sending other people's children off to fight and die for her military conflicts and her ridiculous ideas that somehow we were going to turn Afghanistan, a country that doesn't even have running water in a lot of places, into a thriving liberal democracy. And for that, Liz Cheney was willing to kill thousands of your children.
Yep.
Liz Cheney, you know what? I think it's the best thing in the world that she's supporting Kamala Harris. You are right. Blessed are the peacemakers. Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney make very, very interesting partners. They get rich when America's sons and daughters go off to die. They get rich when America loses wars instead of winning wars. And they get rich when America gets weaker in the world. We want American strength, American security, and most importantly, peace. Let's bring peace back to the world. And Donald Trump is the candidate to do it.
That's right.
I want to emphasize foreign policy here. We have a question here from John, who's using the train.
Well, there's no. Yeah, he never gets the question off because the time runs out. So, but that's true. I mean, first of all, in 2016 they said that if Trump wins, that we're going to have a depression. Right? Yeah, that jackass Paul Krugman. Just Google Paul Krugman is an idiot and see how many returns you get. And so they said that. Then they said he would start World War III, right? Not only did he not start any new wars, the first president in a long time that didn't. He tried to end many wars. He got peace deals done in the Middle East with Israel and the Arab states. Imagine that. The guy that was going to start World War III, you know. And they're saying the same shit. You saw I did the video where it said that they've revived the Russia probe. They're saying now that Russia is once again trying to help Trump. Well, how can you say again? Yeah, and then there was an article, I think it was that Wikipedia thing on Trump, the lie, and said that Mueller's probe concluded that Russia did try to help Trump. They didn't say. What they actually concluded was that they bought the same amount of Facebook ads for Hillary that they did for Trump. They just wanted to sow chaos, and the Democrats gave it to them. They gave them the chaos that they wanted.
And Putin is out there all love and kisses about Kamala.
Oh yeah. And it was over her laugh, the cackling. That was a joke. He was making fun of her, which says this: he wouldn't say jack shit like that about Trump, but he would about Kamala because he thinks she's a joke. She doesn't intimidate him in the slightest. But he would never say. In fact, he said, like, for example, when in Syria, Putin sent Spetsnaz troops to an airport there, and they were helping to set things up for Assad during their war. And Trump said, you got those Spetsnaz guys there. You got a lot of them there. Get them out, or I'm going to get them out for you. And Putin said, you wouldn't dare. And Trump dropped the mother of all bombs on the airport and killed all the Spetsnaz guys. And so about 2 months later, a reporter asked Putin, why didn't you do anything to retaliate? And he was honest. He said, because you never know what Donald Trump will do. Think about that. The Democrats all say, well, we're going to get out, and we're going to get out on the 13th of June, and that, why would you? And Trump would say that. He'd say, why would I tell, like during a debate, he said, when would you say the deadline? Why would I tell the enemy when we're leaving? He said, they'll just wait until that day and then, take over and start attacking, killing people. He goes, why would I do that? And they gave him a hard time for having a belief system like that. It was just amazing to me.
Now, the best, though, is when Biden handed Putin a list of the 16 top sectors that he wasn't allowed to, do anything with.
Yeah.
I mean, that was beyond
the pale. Yeah.
Beyond the pale is right.
Oh, I know. Oh, for you guys, should I play the song again? Should I play it again? Because a lot of guys.
Well, we got a lot more people in here. If you want to play it again.
I'll play the song. A lot of you guys that don't know it, I started a new channel, and the channel is it's a music channel for politics. So I put my first song up. Let me see. Hang on. Here it is. And I'm going to stop it and I'll start again. Let me put it up. And hang on. Let me bring it in. It's called The Politician. This guy is a dick. All right, here we go. So let's do it.
This guy's a real piece of work, strutting around like he owns the earth, leaving people pissed off in his wake, never caring about the mess he makes. This guy is a dick, no doubt about it. You think he's cool, but it's so crowded. It leaves me wondering how I got to know him, falling for his bullshit, thinking I'm below him. Thought I knew him, thought he was a cool guy. Hang around him long enough, he ain't so right. Yeah, this guy is a dick. He'll talk you up and make you believe that he's your best friend, but he's just a thief. He'll take your money with a wink and a grin, and when he's done, he'll just disappear again. This guy is a dick, no doubt about it. You think he's cool, but it's so clouded. It leaves me wondering how I got to know him, falling for his bullshit, thinking I'm below him. Thought I knew him, thought he was a cool guy. Hang around him long enough, he ain't so right. Yeah, this guy is a dick. He'll talk you up and make you believe that he's your best friend, but he's just a thief. He'll take your money with a wink and a grin, and when he's done, he'll just disappear again. This guy is a dick, no doubt about it. You think he's cool, but it's so clouded. It leaves me wondering how I got to know him, falling for his bullshit, thinking I'm below him. Maybe someday he'll see the light, realize the pain, make things right. But till then I'll keep my distance, learn from my mistakes with persistence. This guy is a dick, no doubt about it. You think he's cool, but it's so clouded. Yeah, it leaves me wondering how I got to know him, falling for his bullshit, thinking I'm below him. Thought I knew him, thought he was a cool guy. Hang around him long enough, he ain't so right. Yeah, this guy is a dick. Oh. He'll talk you up and make you believe that he's your best friend, but he's just a thief.
There we go. This guy, he was a real dick. Yeah, my premiere. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. They always underestimate Trump. And he's the exact opposite of what they accuse him of doing. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was all AI. The music was AI. The videos I got off of Canva that I have an account there, and I use them there. So, and then I put them into the same software that I do my videos on. So it was fun. So, yeah, the next one I think I'm going to do is my Jamaican song. It's reggae. It's called "What Happened," and it's about the Biden and economy. And the guy goes up to an ATM and he gets insufficient funds, and he's like freaking out, like, "What the hell?" So it should be kind of funny. But I'm trying to find a lot of Jamaican videos. I got a couple, but not enough to make a video out of. So I may do another one. A lot of guys don't notice, but if you guys watch to the end of my videos, they have I have the end screens and all that music that plays. I've created that, and there's a couple that I still use from Epidemic Sound, but the majority I use today, I created them in AI. So I got a lot of videos I can finally do. So I'm going to start doing them. It's Jabberhouse Media LLC is the name of the channel. It's the same as the website that I use, Jabberhouse. Jabber, jabber, ho, ho, jabber, ho, ho. Yeah, let's see. We got one more. Let's do one more. Former Waltz appointee allegedly from 18 years. Yeah. Like a marijuana. Look on his face. Tim Walz. Any reaction? Let's see. Do we have Julie? Yeah, Julie Kelly. Oof. I don't know if I can read that one because it's about J6. Ballot Dropbox battles. Harris tells her own. Yeah, here you go. So Kamala Harris tells her own personal corn pop story, and it's a doozy. Remember the corn pop? Terrence Williams. I love Terrence Williams. But Vice President Kamala Harris has her own version of a corn pop story, an outlandish, absurd, tall tale that makes absolutely no sense and almost certainly never happened. You remember corn pop, right? Well, in case you don't, here's a reminder.
3-meter board. If you fell off sideways, you landed on the darn cement over there.
He's about to curse.
And Corn Pop
Look at
was a
Terrence.
bad dude.
I love Terrence.
And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. Well, he came off, and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There's a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pools. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pool filter is. You know, the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up. He said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head.
Hey, yo, sucker, keep my name out your mouth. It's Corn Pop, not Corn Pop. What you talking about? And you promised me you would have my food stamps if you became vice president. Where my food stamps at, sucker? You better have them by Monday. And what I tell you about snitching on me? Now you owe me 10 boxes of Corn Pops, homie.
I can't play anymore because I could get in trouble for that one. That was funny. You got to admit that
is funny.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Let's see. Mass immigration. No, we did that. Glenn Beck. Yes, we did that. I think we did them all, didn't we? I don't want to do that one. That would take too long.
Okay, Rich, looks like I'm being summoned.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
It's that time, right?
It's about that time. We got dinner. Besides, I'm almost 2 hours in and I start to flame out.
Oh, okay. No worries.
So
I usually go 1 more hour.
Yeah, you usually go 3. More power to you, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, have a good weekend. I'm gonna leave. Rich at the altar here, and
it's like, okay, you daggos, off the lawn.
Yeah,
that was the Pope's blessing.
I'm a finished to my speech.
There you go.
Just get off of my lawn.
Off my lawn.
All right,
Jade. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it every week.
We'll see you next week. We'll probably be in touch during the week. But
have a good week. Yeah, hit me up. Hit me up.
I will be out of here.
Dr. Jade is leaving the house. All right. Now you just got my ugly ass. Let's see. We'll put everybody up. I think she still watches. Yeah. So let's see if we got another one I can do. Let's go here. All right. Did I read them all? The sentencing, Elon. Yeah, we did that. Former Glenn Beck takes a look at. Yeah, they're voting. Yeah, let's just do it. Okay. Julie Kelly is an independent reporter, and she does the J6 stuff. She's very good. Here we go. Jack Smith's indictment. He's going nuts because the Supreme Court ruled the immunity thing. Hearing in Jack Smith's J6 indictment against Donald Trump just ended. It is a travesty. Cameras are now allowed in federal courtrooms so the American people can see what an unprepared, intemperate, smug, and condescending Judge Tanya Chutkan is. The public would be outraged at her highly partisan and aggressive handling of this unprecedented case. She's been a real a-hole. Chutkan, reversed by the Supreme Court and criticized by the Chief Justice for rushing her immunity order, came out swinging this morning. Not only is she clearly agitated by SCOTUS immunity ruling, it is unclear whether she even read it. I think a lot of these a-holes on the left, they don't even read. They read a headline and that's it, and they go with it. On a number of occasions, she argued with John Lauro, Trump's defense attorney, about the elements of the opinion. Quote, "That's not how I read it," she said when misinterpreting what the opinion said. At one point during a discussion about mandatory appeal based on any other immunity decision she makes, Chuckin opined that there will be a reversal on her future immunity order no matter what I do. That is a dangerous sign. What Chuckin suggested is that she will recklessly handle pending immunity questions related to Trump's comms with VP Pence because she feels SCOTUS will overturn her once again. At issue is SCOTUS determining those comms with Pence are presumptively immune. Chuckin said she didn't read it that way. That's what it said. A ruling that Trump-Pence comms are protected under immunity would torpedo the entire indictment. He was acting as a president during a presidential thing. He has immunity. Smith already had cut 9 pages of original indictment because Trump's comms with DOJ were conclusively immune. Further, those immunized conversations not only are barred from being cited in an indictment, the protected comms cannot be used in any stage of the investigation or prosecution. Chuckin, Chuckin is the type of judge that no one has ever questioned her. She's a person that her entire life, when she made a mistake, they said, "Oh, no, it's not your fault. It's probably the other guy over there." And she can't stand it that she's being ruled against by a courts higher than her. Chuckin, as she has said consistently since this case landed on her docket, emotionally emphasized that the presidential election will not affect her scheduling order, which she will file later today. Quote, "I understand there is an election soon," Chuckin said. "It is not relevant. This court is not concerned with the electoral schedule. It is nothing I will consider." And I'm going to say this. This is why lefties, like leftists, black leftists, have always been used by the communists. Think about it, Fannie Mae, Letitia James, because they say whatever the hell they want, and they don't care what anyone thinks of them or the impropriety of what they're doing. But her own words and actions contradict that assertion. She attempted to rush the proceedings as soon as the SCOTUS mandate returned to her court. So much so that even Jack Smith had to ask to delay her status report and hearing deadline. Further, she is contemplating taking what even she describes as an irregular procedure, which is allow Jack Smith to file an opening brief to outline why he believes the existing indictment is not covered by SCOTUS immunity ruling. Lauro strenuously objected to taking such an unusual step. Such a brief, Lauro argued, would be enormously prejudicial, but these people don't care, and noted Smith already filed a superseding indictment, and it is the defense's turn to respond. Chuckin shot back that the defense would have plenty of time to respond to such a brief, which Smith's prosecutor, Tom Wyndham, said could be submitted in about 3 weeks. This is precisely the sort of shoddy, hasty work that landed Chuckin in trouble at SCOTUS. Not allowed typing too fast. Wow. Chuckin, as I have reported before, was also in full performance mode. She made snide comments to generate laughter in the DOJ-friendly crowd. She crossed her arms, held up her hand, pointed, and smirked during her back and forth with Lauro. She took she's butthurt that SCOTUS would have the audacity to say, you have to live within the Constitution. But perhaps her most egregious comment, and one that demonstrates she is not concerned or understands the gravity of the matter before her, is when she blurted out, "I am not talking about the presidency of the United States. I am talking about a 4-count indictment." No, she's talking about the president of the United States. And it's not. See, that's the problem with the libnuts. They think that SCOTUS made this ruling for Trump, specifically for Trump. No, they made the ruling for the president. And they broke it down in like this immunity question. They broke it down into 3 sections. And they make perfect sense. If a president is doing something that is a presidential act, during a presidential action, like a ceremony or something, he has immunity. If he's working, if he's doing something within the bounds of his authority, he has immunity. If and that's the only one where he has full immunity. That's it. The other two, he doesn't. If the president is doing something that's not a presidential act during a presidential or a non-presidential action. So if he's like I said before, if he's at a dinner that is a presidential dinner, right? You have a bunch of diplomats over and you had a big dinner and all that, and he's hosting it. If he gets up there and says, you know what, I'm running for re-election soon and I'm going to really need you to give me some money, like I want you to donate. Well, that's not a presidential act. So if he said something in there that was kind of criminal, he would not have immunity. And the third is if he's not doing a presidential action and he's not in a presidential action, like a presidential scenario, then he doesn't have immunity. So, I mean, these assholes on the left are saying, well, it gives him the right to put a hit out on his opponent. I mean, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but they just keep talking. So this matter is all about the future of the presidency. Exactly. She's right. What conduct is immune from criminal prosecution? What conduct is not? This is not just some drug or J6 case. That comment alone is disqualifying and a signal that her colleagues on the D.C. bench, DGAF, I don't even know what that means, about what SCOTUS determines. More later. But yeah, if you can follow her, Julie Kelly, follow her on Twitter, on X, because she has some really good stuff. Always has, always will. She's real good on the J6 crap. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have shown that sooner, but I was reading. Yeah, when I'm reading something, I can't tell what people are writing. Let's see. Oh, I had another one. Let me see if I can bring that one up too, that I played earlier. It's the thing on Trump. It's funny as hell. I thought anyway. Oh crap. Hang on. It's a video. It's a short video, but it's the comparison between Trump and Obama. Yeah, hang on. There we go. Let me bring it in. This is funny. I thought anyway.
Your thought. The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
The United States launched a targeted operation against that compound.
They did a lot of shooting and they did a lot of blasting, even not going through the front door. You think you go through the door. If you're a normal person, you say, knock, knock, may I come in?
After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
He died like a dog.
But his death does not mark the end of our effort.
A beautiful dog.
And that's why Trump was the better president. Nothing more to say.
Exactly. I love that. I just thought that was awesome because that's how he talked too. He died like a dog. He's like, when the special forces got up to al-Baghdadi, he started crying. Crying al-Baghdadi. That's what we called him in the Situation Room. Don't cry, al-Baghdadi. Don't cry. Remember that? Oh, man. Most corrupt president ever still sits in office. I know he is. Oh, my God. He is so bad. And I honestly think, and not just because she's running right now, I think Kamala would be worse. Because at least Joe, when he was younger, he was pro-life. He was pretty much pro-Constitution. His only flaws back then was he was a racist and he sidled up to a lot of separatists and Klansmen. Those were his big flaws back then, which are huge flaws. But he doesn't get any, I guess the word is, credit for that today because the press forgets about it, that he did that. But yeah, she would be, yeah, you're right. She would be way, way worse, I think. I agree there. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Yeah. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear. Now, who said that? Does anybody remember who said that? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear. Nobody remembers? It was Norm on Cheers when he said, "What's going on, Mr. Whatever Peterson?" He said, "It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear." That was the best. Let's see what else we can find. I don't think I'm going to find much there. Gavin Newsom. Yeah, how about it? Newsom actually, I can't believe he did it. Probably because he has aspirations of running for president someday. But yeah, he vetoed the 150,000 to illegals to buy a home. He actually vetoed it. He cited budgetary concerns that made him quash the bill. No, it's because he wants to run for president someday. And if he signed that bill, that would have doomed his candidacy right off the bat. Look, let's be honest. Politicians know that Americans understand fairness and unfairness, right? I mean, you think about it, guys. Even a dog understands that something's unfair. You have two dogs, right? And you give your one dog a treat and the other one doesn't get a treat. The other dog's saying, what the fuck now? Why does he get one? The other dog will be visibly upset because he didn't get because he understands unfairness. So I think, I'm not sure, but I think Democrat politicians are a little smarter than dogs. And so they understand that the American people know and do not like unfairness. So a lot of times this is why they lie. I'm not going to ban fracking. Then when they get in office and they have the power to go, fuck it, I'm going to ban fracking. You know, I just had to lie to them because I had to get it through. So they know that people don't like unfairness. And that's what's really something. In the old days, the Democrats would have never, ever like given so much to illegals and allowing them to stay here and giving them money and offering them, you know, money to start a business and money to buy a house and all that. You know, but today they're commies. They're out of the closet and they don't care anymore because they're in power and they'll do things to stay in power. But you think about it, they know the American people are like, whoa, wait a minute. That's just unfair. You want to give money. You want to give money to illegals to buy a house and I can't buy a house. I mean, think about that. Think about the absurdity of that. I'm trying to find the video of that woman that I watched where she bought a truck. When you see this, you'll be like, holy cow, you feel sorry for everything that she did, and then she sees it was all for naught. Come on, where is it? I'll get to it. Should be coming up soon. Yes. No, that's not her. Yeah, let's see. Where is it? Oh, wait, is that her? No, that's not her. Let me try to find it. Nope, that's not her. I may have already gone past it, but I watch a lot of videos during the day to get ideas. So I got to go through this friggin' list now. Where is it? Come on, show me. I'm going down my history list to see if I can find it. I should be able to. Come on. Find it in a minute. Come on. August. Yeah, I might have it here. Where is it? Still looking. Sorry. It's worth it, though. If I find it, it's worth it. I'm only going to look for a little bit more. Where is that her? No. Damn. Should oh no. Thought that was her. Looked like her. Come on. I got dead air going here. I know. Let me just search for it. Food. Oh, there she is. How do you like that? So let's see. I found her, but I want to find the one that she did. Yeah, this is it. Okay. There you go. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is sad. I feel bad for this woman, but she's a veteran too. Ready? Let's watch.
me why I worked so hard all these years, all these decades.
This is the second
Couldn't get
one.
a business loan, but
There
I
you go.
bought the money to create my business.
She
And we
busted
got
her ass.
immigrants coming here. And they're getting money. Money!
This is very disturbing. So here, apparently this woman who's a veteran who's been working very hard, can't get a business loan.
This isn't the video that I watched. I just watched it straight up her talking, so I couldn't find it.
But is attempting to sell her food truck.
Food
And
truck,
here's
right.
an illegal immigrant come to her.
Well, here, let me tell the story first. She spent $25,000 cash to buy her food truck to start her business. And she said she couldn't get a loan because she was black in the city that she was living in. And I do believe that. But she said she couldn't get a for various reasons, right? Not just racism, I think, because she didn't have credit, she didn't have a history of it, stuff like that. And so she talked about how hard she worked for years to save that $25,000 to buy a food truck to start her business, and that she's now moving into a different type of business. So she wants to sell the food truck. So she put it on the market, and an illegal immigrant approached her and said he wanted to buy her truck. And she's like, all right, how do you have money? And he pulled out a piece of paper that was from the federal government, Biden's government, that said that they will give him the money for the truck. And so she contacted the banker and I guess faxed it over or went there. I don't know. But she said that the banker confirmed, said, yeah, he will have the money and I'll take care of the transaction if you want. And that's when she started questioning. She goes, wait a minute. She goes, I worked so hard for years to save that kind of money up to start my business. She goes, and we got a guy who's not even here a week and they're giving him money. And that's what was so sad. And then she just started crying because out of anger, saying, I want an answer. You owe me an answer. Kamala, you owe me an answer. How can you do this to Americans? But let's just watch.
And was able to show that he's going to receive funds from the government to buy her food truck.
Yep.
I need this message to go out to our vice president,
Yep.
who's running for president. I have heard all over social media about, excuse me if I say anything wrong, immigrants getting loans, money. It was hard for me to believe. It was just extremely hard for me to believe.
Yeah.
I've been in business such a long time. Back in 2019, I purchased my first food truck.
Here's the story.
It cost me over $25,000. I paid it cash money. I worked hard to pay for this truck. I'm now selling it because I'm doing other things, but I'm selling it. I had a guy come to look at purchasing my vehicle or my food truck. And he explained to me he's an illegal immigrant. He has no credit. He has no money in the bank. But he showed me his paperwork that he will receive funds to purchase my food truck. I'm thankful that he's buying it, but I'm hurt that I worked so hard to pay cash for my food truck.
I agree.
I have good credit. Can't even get a business loan because of the color of my skin. I have veterans in my family. I'm a veteran. I've been self-employed for so long.
She's one of the people that makes the
But
country work.
somebody, please tell me, how do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he shows me paperwork where they'll be funding him money to buy my food truck.
Sad.
And when I talked to the bank, they told me usually they have to go straight to a dealership because I'm a private sale. But for special circumstances, they're going to, they allow it. But I need my president to tell me why I worked so hard all these years, all these decades, Couldn't get a business loan, but I bust my ass to get the money to create my business.
Yep. God bless her.
And we got immigrants coming here. And they're getting money.
Our money. Our money.
We're doing nothing but just being here.
Yeah.
It's not right, and
For
I want
votes.
answers.
It's for votes. That's what it's for. Isn't that something? Isn't that crazy, guys? Yeah, I had a saying I used to always use. Satan one day was urged to create an ideology to rule the world. Responding greedily, he named it liberalism. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's the thing, but they want their votes. It's votes. So in other words, we're at the point now where the communists are out in the open and they don't give a shit that you know it. And they're willing to, like, I read a story, 2 stories actually earlier, that show that the illegals are causing serious problems in local economies for cities that they're being dumped into. And the White House doesn't give a shit. They don't care. Yeah, they just don't care what's happening because they're votes. And I always say this half as a joke, but half in reality, that if it was known that illegals from south of our border and, well, from everywhere, if illegals overwhelmingly voted Republican, they would be catapulting them back over the Rio Grande 24/7. And they would, because look how they treat Cuban refugees, right? The Cuban, they're actually refugees. There's a special law for Cuba that says if they touch American soil, they're allowed in. If they don't, and the Coast Guard or whoever catches them before they touch soil, they turn them right around and send them back to Cuba so that they could be persecuted, right? Tortured. That's why a lot of them, when the boats are coming, they jump out of the boat and plunge themselves and tap up and they go, "I touched the land," and the guys are like, "Damn it," they got to let them in. But it's okay because the Cubans, when they come here, they start businesses, they work. I'm not saying the others don't, but because they vote conservatively, and they vote conservatively because they lived under communism, they know how much it sucks, right? So the Democrats shit all over them every chance they get. They don't even consider them like Hispanic, like part of their Hispanic caucus. They just don't. It's sad. They would spin the alligator idea in the green border. Yeah, probably. Yeah, a lot of them are, dude. You saw that one video in Chicago where the illegals took over the building and the drug gangs came in, and I saw them like walking up the stairs because I guess the elevator was broken. Aren't they always broken in Chicago? And so they were walking up the stairs and they all had guns, AKs, just walking up the stairs, and there's one guy on the phone, and they're trying to get into this apartment. I guess the guy did something and they want to kill him, but I'm like, holy shit. And they're filming it. They're literally standing. One guy's filming it. He was like the photographer. He was supposed to film it for them, and he was one of them. It's crazy. Like, what do you do? It's crazy shit. But that's how it is. Yeah, seriously, what do you do? Yeah, I don't know where he is. He probably fell asleep. I had texted him earlier, streaming at 6. He usually writes back, "Yeah, I know, I'll be there," because I do the same thing. He texts me, and he didn't show up, so he's probably sleeping. Because if you guys remember, he did a show the other day, and it went live, and the screen was black, and I'm like, "What the?" So I had to come into this. He uses my StreamYard, and so I had to come in. And I called him to wake him up. And he's like, "Oh, what's up?" I'm like, "Dude, you got a show that's live." It's like, "Oh, F word. Oh, F word." I'm like, "Yeah, all right." Everyone needs to quit their job and stop supporting the system like me. There you go. Yeah, because we all got that kind of cash. See, Liquid got the cash where he can go a couple years without having to work. Not everybody does, bro. And good for you for having that. I'll tell Jimmy you were asking for him. Yeah, I know. It's great. But you know what? You could just whatever. It was like 2 live streams ago, I think. Yeah, you can watch it because he's live. He was like live for like 10 minutes sleeping. Yeah, because what happens is like I always start like when there's 10 seconds left. You click go live and then you click it again and then you're live. Otherwise, if it runs down, the timer goes out, you're live. So he didn't realize. Yeah, I know you do, but you know what? That's kind of smart. What was that? What was that movie with oh, what's his name? Rodney Dangerfield. When he told the kids, he goes, he was like doing a commencement speech to the college students graduating. He goes, "I'll tell you what, stay home with your parents. It's a jungle out there. You don't want to go out there." I put in half a year in preparation to quit my job. Yep, just acquiring the trailer and renovating. I know you did a nice job on it too, bro. And now you're going to start your channel. Nice. But you're moving. Now, where are you going again? Costa Rica? I know people in Costa Rica. They love it. Don't go to Belize. Everybody says, go to Belize. No, don't go to Belize. Don't go to Belize. Well, they have like an American Constitution. Yeah, don't go to Belize. Just trust me. Trust me on that. There is no Belize. It's a fiction. Yeah, Belize flooded. They had one city, and the city flooded years ago. And so everybody like just migrated to the north and started building their own shit. You know, and so when the government finally fixed the city, people went, fuck it. I don't want to move back there. I'm happy up here now. So they have this island that's like a mile off the coast, and everybody goes there to go to, you know, swim, fish, do all that shit. And I had a buddy that went there, and he said the weather was perfect, right? So he's talking to there was no Wi-Fi or anything though, because it just wouldn't work. And so he said on the day they were leaving, he was checking out, and he said, you know, it's nice here. He goes, I couldn't believe, like, you know, beautiful breeze that comes off. And the guy smiled, and he goes, yeah. He goes, well, we call that. They had a word for it. And he goes, it happens 2 weeks out of the year. The rest of the year, it's 110 degrees with 100% humidity. He's like, really? He goes, yeah. You picked the best time of year to come. It's like, all right. And they can't have roads down there in their city because they don't have the type of materials to make concrete or to make the roads at all. So they have it costs like $1 million, I think, for every half mile to build a road. And we're talking not wide roads, you know, wide enough for like maybe 2 cars. They can't do it. So Belize is like, okay. Oh, you're getting political on us. You want to come in? I'll put an invite out for anybody that wants to come in. There you go. You want to come in and talk? Just come in. There's the link. I'll put you on stage. There we go. Liquid's in. There we go, what's up, man?
Hey guys. Hopefully the I'm on like obviously streaming off my phone and like it's really weird. I'm in this barn and like I can only get service if the phone is like on the windowsill. So
yeah, that's funny.
And if it's on my desk like 2 to 3 feet away, like I'm not going to get any service at all. So I'm not sure how that works out, but that is the case.
So where'd you say you're moving to? I forgot. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. See,
There's
like,
another country.
I'm in this barn. It's like being destroyed or like being renovated.
Oh wow.
I like this room. Though. Yeah, I don't know what country I'm going to go to. I'm just going to go to like when the time is. I'm going to go to an airport and I'm going to see whatever ticket they have.
Well, you had said last time you were on, you said you had a country picked.
I have like,
and I forget, it was in Europe, and I forget what it was.
I want to go. I was thinking about Norway, but I like the Balkans as well.
Really?
Southeast Asia is a very popular place, but I don't really know at all. I don't know. It's not just somewhere else. I'm gonna go somewhere else. It's gonna be fun.
Cool, man. I wish you all the luck in the world.
Oh, thank you.
How's your website coming?
The website's going very good at this moment. I'm making the web store right now. So today I learned how to do all the process gateway stuff with Stripe. So that stuff's super easy. A lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So I just have to make, like, I've been doing a lot of database stuff about how I'm gonna sell these themes and, like, just all that thing and how it's gonna work. And so
Are you
because the
selling themes?
yeah, I'm selling the themes. Yep.
What kind of
Yes,
themes for what?
for
Like
the
WordPress
website.
themes or what kind of themes?
No, it's like so the business idea is like Linktree, and Linktree sells themes. So it's the business idea is a Linktree. So
Okay.
it kind of works like that. So people are
Special
gonna
K, what's up, brother?
what else? Special K, yeah. So people are gonna it's I got to show you guys. I'm gonna introduce it on Jimmy's stream. It's a very difficult topic to kind of
That's
talk
all right.
about.
But then after you're done that, you got to come on mine and introduce it here.
I'd love to,
If
man.
you don't,
Anyone
if
that
you don't mind.
anyone, I'd love to learn on like anywhere. Like I'm literally gonna be so. Oh man! After this coding is done, like I'm gonna be like for a few months, content creation, like streams, like all the time. Like I'm gonna have to literally like
believe me,
get into that. Like do what you're
Second
doing.
job, dude. I work a full-time job all day, and then I come home and work this job. It's like it takes me the videos that I do. It takes me like 20 minutes to actually film them, and I write the script. I wrote this like I write my own articles, right? And I convert them into a script because I did prompt engineering. I wrote a prompt for AI, and it'll take any article and it'll put it into a script based on the criteria that I tell it to do, right? And so I do that, and it's usually I say give me a 10-minute script, and usually it takes me 20 minutes to do that, but then it takes 2 hours to edit the video.
That's the type of stuff. Like at first, man, it's gonna be difficult for me to get into, because I don't have all those skills. But it's gonna be nice to be able to have you like in the
Oh yeah,
corner.
dude. Anything you need, you let me know.
But already, like you already gave me last time. You already gave me a good tip because I looked up that guy June something.
Yeah,
on
June 10th.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a Udemy like a week of Udemy like whatever they have there. They have like a free trial of their whatever. And
No, you don't even need to do that. Just here's what I tell you to do. Best advice I could give you. You sign up for an account, right? And then you search for the topic that you want. And then you use the filter and you'll see that there's like 1,000 free videos on that topic. And then the filter, you then choose out of that the 4.0 to 4.5 or better stars. And dude, you could do everything for free on Udemy. You don't even have to pay.
I do want to get this the June guys because you said so
Yeah,
his is like
he has a really good YouTube one. Yeah, he does.
I'm just gonna and it's not that long. It's like 4 or 5 hours of content. So they do have that free week. Yeah, they do have that free week. So I'm just gonna get the free week, cancel that, and then I'll do that like the free stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, but
he has a lot of videos on social media stuff. He has one for Instagram and one for Facebook and doing like he has a couple for Facebook, and one of them is buying Facebook ads. But every time I tried to place an ad on Facebook for one of my videos, they always rejected it because they said it was a campaign ad for Trump. So if I busted Biden's balls in a video, they would say it's a campaign ad for Trump, and they don't allow campaign ads. I'd be like, you fucking dicks.
That's that's one of the bad things about like your line of work, is that it's just like the political thing, and it's like that stuff is so tied down as far as like search results. Like no one's ever going to be able to find your videos like on YouTube through the search result because.
Well, they do. If you watch June Chen's video, you'll see that that's not exactly true because you know what SEO is, right?
SEO,
search engine optimization, yeah. And if there's a certain way to do search engine optimization on YouTube videos that dramatically takes you up. Because I started doing what he told me to do, and the first thing I think I told you is the first thing that he said that I used that he did was I stopped putting outside links in my description of the videos.
That's because I was going to do that. Yeah, so I'm not going to do that.
Don't. What you can do is you could put links. I mean, until you get like 100,000, viewers, then you can do it. But if you're a young channel, like I'm still a young channel, but if you're a young channel, what happens is YouTube makes money by people watching videos, obviously, because the non-premium people, they get the commercials, right? So they don't want you having a viewer leave the site by an outside link. So they lower you on the algorithm. So, but there's a place in your YouTube studio that you can put all the links to every other social media, your email, your website. You can put them there and they will not harm you. You know what I mean? So the thing is, are you getting high on my channel? A first, people. There we go. A first. Yeah.
I was
So anyway, you
yeah.
went below the black line. It was so cool to watch you do that. But yeah. So once I started,
am I going to get in trouble doing that on your streamer at all?
No.
Okay.
But let's call it. So my brother did drugs on his stream and he passed out. Remember?
He did it on funny. He did that on Pac-Man and whatever, and they had to like block it. You know, when he was huffing.
Oh yeah. But he did a drug one time. It was a huffing drug, and
he gave me some of that. He gave me some of that.
He sat there like, then he's just fell back, and I'm like, oh shit, he died.
I've been too scared to take it, to be honest, but I have that whatever pen he took in that video, he gave it to me, so I have that.
Yeah,
but
I was going to drive to his house. I was going to drive to his house and see if he was all right, if he was alive, right? And so I just kept calling him, and that's when he had that obnoxious ring. It sounded like the Purge, right? Remember that? He had that obnoxious ring, and it finally woke him up. And I was yelling at him so bad that it came over through the video. I was telling you dumb son of a bitch, you're live and you're like passed out by doing drugs. What the hell? And it was that episode that made him think about going to rehab. I think that's the episode that's why he went to rehab.
Well, so I mean, the thing, I don't think it was because of that drug. He was talking to me going to rehab, and it was mostly about, I don't know, I forget, I don't know. Those pills he was taking. I don't really know them that well because I don't get into that type of pills and such. But it was like, but he's been so well since. I know you probably noticed it as well. Like, he was being very like paranoid and anxious and stuff, and he's been at least very well, better level headed at managing that stuff at least. So.
Yeah, well now he is. Yeah, well he hasn't done drugs in like what, close to 2 years now. I think.
Yeah, man, I'm real proud of him. Like that's really tough.
Well,
not very many people can do that.
He went like 9 years before. Then he got back into it.
Yeah, that's real. Not a lot of people can do that. So I know I have problems with that as well. So you know, really impressive, and I'm real proud of him. So, but yeah. So my channel though is going to start out. It's going to start out a lot of technical stuff. It's going to start a lot of web development stuff for.
Oh, cool! I thought you were going to do financial stuff.
So it is financial stuff. So it's going to be like web development for business owners.
Good.
But because this is also like me hedging, having to go back and get a job. So if I explain all the code and stuff and things like that, and how I make things and how to do a passwordless authentication system and such like that, and any like tutorial video and stuff I do, and I'll be able to like have my website as an example of that, and it's gonna just promote myself and the website at the same time. So, but the long goal is to actually do I have so many plans for this website. Like I was thinking about it today. I'm really excited about it. So I have like a business, like trying to sell this website to business and giving business owners like an instance, like a deployment of my website. So,
oh, cool.
A lot of plans for this website.
Kind of like a franchise, or else you're going to sell it all out, sell it whole.
Kind of. Well, kind of like a franchise. Not really a franchise, but just giving them. It's hard to explain without going all the way into it, but just to give them their own instance of it, sort of. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know,
you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm hopefully at the end of this month, and it's really closing up. I've been getting kind of burnt out on it a little bit, but yeah, a lot of preparations, but
it's a lot of work, isn't it?
There's so much work. It's like the with software development, it's like the last 20% is like 80% of the time. You know, getting all the little error handling, all the just you know, the little details and things like that. So
I know.
So it's like a master class, like demonstration of like all my skills. So it's like,
Cool.
so it's like when I get a job, like I feel like I don't have my resume is not, it doesn't really show how talented I am. Like I can't really just I did this for a company and it like really shows how talented I am. So this is a way to
yeah.
I've literally put everything as far as the technical stuff into it, but yeah, no. The reason I came on anyway was to talk about how everybody needs to leave the system, regardless. So
Yeah.
so
I
I
know a
think
lot of
that's
people that do that. Tell me, you would know this.
mhm.
You can. Is there a way you could declare yourself like you give up your citizenship, but you could still live in the U.S. and you declare yourself as an independent something. I can't remember what it is, but
Sovereign citizen or something.
yeah, sovereign citizen thing. Yeah, it went around for a while, and a lot of people started doing it, and I just never saw the benefit of it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, I haven't looked into all that stuff. I don't know
It
what
was like
boss
they
wants
didn't.
to know about the ladies.
Yeah.
Well, because I am leaving the country so I can, because the women in this country are pretty much
I
all
know you were
trash.
saying that the last time.
They're all trash.
It was.
They're
Let me
really.
tell you something. There was a phase I went through
Uh-huh.
where I only dated women who were from other countries, and it was for the same reason that you said. That American women had an attitude. I know I'm going to catch shit for this, but American women had an attitude, and the women from other countries mostly didn't. And I did date a lot of women from other countries because they were awesome, and I have since revised that.
Yeah.
I've since revised that way of thinking.
Hmm.
But it was a fun ride.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be. As far as the women, well, one of the things that helps out really is that you're coming into like maybe a second world country or something like that, and you're like a big fish in a small pond kind of
There you
thing.
go. Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed that as far as moving from DC to where I am in New York, it's like, um, I guess I'm just like more desirable around here, I suppose. But still, even so, like I have some success with these ladies out here in New York. Like, none of them have been wife material at all. So it's been really
Oh,
sad,
really?
actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been really sad. And so,
Pretty bad.
and they don't treat me with the respect that I deserve. Like I'm a business owner, almost a business owner. I'm not sure.
Almost a
Maybe I
business.
should.
Ladies,
Yeah,
he's almost a business owner.
I'm almost
You
a
too
business owner.
can be almost a business owner.
I just have to follow the
Pretty
paperwork.
funny, man. You got a good sense of humor. I like your dry sense of humor.
But no. So also, as far as the women in America, all the young girls, they spend their time at college. They spend their time working for, you know what I'm saying? Like they spend their time training to be a man and going into the workforce, and they're all about college, and it's just like not what I want. All these college girls, they're kind of shitty, to be honest. And so
How old
they're
are you?
spending, huh? I'm
How
29.
old are you? 29?
Mm-hmm.
Go
But I
ahead.
date girls that are that age, younger
Yeah.
than me. Like I was dating a 21-year-old. I'm kind of dating a 20-year-old right now, but not really. I don't really like her that much. I like her
She's the
sister
girl
more.
across the street, or in that lives with her mom, I think. You told me
She
about her.
lives. She lives with her. Bro, it's so bad. These girls, like these two sisters, have zero masculine energy in their life at all, and it's really sad. Like, so the sister is like
That is true.
18. The sister's 18, and she dropped out of college. She dropped out of high school to go party, she said, and do coke. She's like a coke lady.
Yeah, you were telling me that was her. Yeah.
Yeah, and
You were
so
telling me that.
they don't have. And the first time I meet this girl, her sister, she's like, walk right on in. Let's go to the basement. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to talk to anybody at the house. Like, just straight up, just come downstairs, like stranger into the house, like into the basement. It's just like very weird to me, but
Yeah, one thing
yeah.
I noticed when I was a young strapping lad was that if you treat women like shit, they're going to chase you to the four corners of the earth. If you're very nice to a woman, she walks away. And there's a term for that. It's a scientific term called hypergamy. And hypergamy means that women, they don't even know that they do this for the most part. But hypergamy dictates that a woman, when she starts dating you, wants to know, can she be safe because of you? So in other words, if you start like doing things like holding the door for her, holding her hand when you walk, calling her all the time, texting her all the time, right? It just turns them off, like big time. But if you say, yeah, I'll call you, and then you wait 2 weeks and you don't call, they'll be calling you. And most men in America, because men have been demasculated by the liberals for the last 30 years, but most men in this country do not have the balls to be that way. They can't. They think like, oh man, that's pretty fucking mean. Well, no. Actually, it would work to your benefit if you were that way.
I have been so I've been getting really pissed at women, and I have been like that sort of aura about me is like that kind of, because the thing that I started to like these women like rejecting me, because in my mind, like, these women are trash, and so that for them to like not give me a chance, like, it's extremely motivating. It's like the Michael Jordan mindset. So it's like I'm gonna make it so that this is the worst mistake that you've ever made, to not give me a chance, because I'm such a special, like, talented individual, and I'm going to be very successful one day.
Do you know how you do that though? You ghost them and you stick to it. You ghost them and you stick to it.
But no, but the thing is like, yeah, I ghost someone all the time. I get ghosted, but... It's like everyone's ghosting everybody now. It's like not even a big thing anymore. It's like,
well, for the older women, it is. It is a big
thing. That's the thing about like dating because I'm dating these girls that are born after the year 2000, dude. Like,
yeah, Oof.
Like it's really different. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. They don't know what it was like to not have the internet.
Yeah, because when I was in college, like, I was dating girls my age and such, and now that I'm out of college and like, and I'm trying, I got the dating pool, I get whatever comes across my path. So it's like I dated this girl that was 21. That means she was born in 2000. Bro, this girl I'm dating right now or this girl that I'm not really talking to her, like, I don't even know what year it is. 2024. She was born in 2004.
Oh, okay. 4.
She was born in something. So
wow.
So it's a really, like, people who were born like 5 years after me, 5 years after that, like, there's a huge difference. Whereas like someone who's born 5 years before me, 5 years before that, like, I feel like there's like the difference really accelerates going forward. I think because for my age, I didn't grow up with a smartphone in my hand. Like, I didn't have social media growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that stuff was just getting started. So these kids now that are post 2000, like, they're really growing up in a different, different environment.
Well, they're saying I did a story like 2 weeks ago, and it was of the young people today. The men are becoming more conservative than normal. Not as conservative as they were in 2000, but more than normal. And the women, their age, are radical left-wing, crazy, toys in the attic, batshit crazy progressives.
I talk to girls, and so there's like men are killing themselves now, like, a lot, I think, like, more than ever, I suppose. And I'll talk to women, and they don't even have any concept that, like, the difficulties of men, you know what I mean? So and it goes back to, like, the government is neutering men, the government is replacing men, the government gives everything that women need biologically, so we're kind of worthless and useless, and so men kill themselves now.
That actually did happen. They went out of their way. They started in the school system. They went out of their way to say, look, we're going to start focusing solely on the females now, students, and not so much on the men.
So 2/3 of the college campuses are like women now. They're not focused. They should be focused on finding a guy like me Instead,
there you go, confidence builder right there, guys.
but the thing is like they rather would listen to these college professors. They would rather listen to a boss instead of like have a family, instead of focus on a family, building a
Hang on.
family.
Welcome to the party, happy girl. By the way, I know happy girl.
Come into the. You can come into the. We should get a female's perspective on this. If you want to come into
No,
the.
she won't come in. She won't come in.
All right. All right. Typical girl. So I mean.
No, I used to date her years ago. Gorgeous Italian woman.
Oh, I'm Italian. So if you have I'm not sure how old you are, but if you have a cute daughter, don't tell her about any of it.
She has a son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a son. I'm not that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Sorry to hear that. But no. So
you two are scaring the crap out of me. Why?
Because women don't understand. Women aren't capable of like having these kind of conversations. Every time I bring up these topics, girls will get very emotional. They'll get very.
That's the thing. They're emotional, and that's not a look. When I say that, ladies, I'm not insulting you. Women think emotionally, and men do not. And it's not an insult. It's the way you were wired. It's the way you were born. You make every decision about a man with emotions. And you'll think, well, I'll sit down and think about it. Yeah, but you test a man. There's not a moment. You could be with a woman for 40 years, and every day she will test you in some way. That is a fact. And she doesn't even know she's doing it most of the time, and she can't help it. So it's not a bad thing. It's just how it is. It's hypergamy, and it's never ending. Never ending.
My view on women is that they're equally as important as men, but we're complementary forces. And so when women try to be like in a man's role, it doesn't work out. Like you guys cannot be in a man's role. And then it's like
that is true.
When you guys abdicate, you guys have an important role in society. And when you guys abdicate that role in society, society goes to hell in a handbasket. And that's what we're seeing now. Like y'all are not playing y'all role, y'all abdicating y'all post, and now everything's going to shit. And like that's really sad.
It's a very unpopular opinion, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely true. Yeah.
Because so the thing is, like, women, you will not be as resilient as a man is. You will not be able to persevere through as difficult circumstances as a man will be able to. And that's not a slight against women. That's just like saying what's good about men. You know what I mean? And so when people talk about what's good about a man, we're strong, we're resilient, we can handle stress, all that stuff, that we're better than you at that stuff. Like you guys will take it as an insult, whereas it's like, why can't you just let us have the good things that we can do?
Let us have the goddamn things we were meant to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can swing a hammer.
Exactly. You're right, dude. You're right. Like I don't want to see women, mothers, daughters, sisters, aunts. I don't want to see them coming home in body bags from combat. I just don't.
Yeah. So it's like going back to the complementary thing. So the complementary force for women. So I think that men should be resilient, right? So the complementary force for women is their innocence and their ability to nurture, and their complementary forces, because to be innocent, so to be resilient, you have to be like, you think about forging a blade. It's like a traumatic experience. Like you have to undergo trauma and such. And so hopefully, the right amount of trauma without breaking yourself. But for women, like going through trauma destroys their innocence. So these two forces are like complementary, and trying to have women go through all this stress and things like that is like, it goes against what they're good for, and it damages them.
Yeah. I've known women. They used to say, "Oh, did you talk to them?" I'd be like, "Who, man or beast?" I would say man or beast, because I've known women that would destroy you. Like the toughest guys, a woman could destroy him emotionally, egotistically.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy to destroy someone when you can like cheat on a man in his own house and take all of this stuff and keep the house. And so it's really easy. I know that when you like accuse a man of like rape or something like that, like, yeah, like it's really easy to destroy a man emotionally. Like, women are actually very destructive creatures. They're actually like some of the worst things walking this earth.
They'll fuck you up.
Yeah,
They will
they're
cut
absolutely
you
out for
down
themselves.
and
Yeah,
not even
absolutely.
think twice.
They're out for themselves. They're very egotistical. They'll steal. They'll cheat.
They will
lie
destroy.
they'll
They will
lie to your face and
destroy
cry
your
about it.
ego and then break for lunch. Yes.
Yeah, bro. So
Yes.
y'all not sweet, man. Y'all not. And a man
No,
is
there's
supposed
a
to.
lot of women that are. There's a lot. Believe it or not, there's a lot of women that are.
Yeah, they're the minority now,
They're
though. So
very nice people. Yes, because they don't buy into that bullshit.
yeah,
They
they're the
don't buy it,
minority.
but they still do testing. Women test all the time. They'll test you every day, every single day. Yeah, they do things like they'll say like they know, like if you say, yeah, I wanted to go fishing with the buddies. Yeah, well, today I thought we were going to go to the mall. Okay. Well, she just lost a hell of a lot of respect for you. She wanted you to go, fuck you, I'm going fishing. Goodbye.
I don't know about that stuff, bro. I don't even think about that stuff.
No, that's the truth. That's called hypergamy, man. You got to look it up. Seriously, look it up.
Yeah,
Casey Zander, look it up.
hypergamy
Look up
means
Casey Zander.
hypergamy means that a man has hypergamy means basically just you get with the best that you can get with, or like it's just a very commoditized, like you're trying to just it's like a Machiavellian.
No, hypergamy is a woman looking up to a man. That's all it is. And if she no longer looks up to him and looks down on him, she ain't gonna be around much longer. And that's why she'll test you all the time to see if she can still respect you looking up to you instead of looking down on you. And it happens all the friggin' time.
Sure, yeah. But no, I think that stuff's stupid though. I'm not out here to play games and be like Mr. Machiavelli.
Yes, you do. He does send nudes.
This lady, the last lady I dated, that was actually my girlfriend. I brought my cat over, and I needed to put water out for this cat, and so I get one of her bowls, and she makes a big deal out of it, and like you can't. Why would you use a human bowl? Like you could have asked me to get a cat bowl, find a cat bowl for you. And I no, but it's not like so that if that was a test, I got angry at her and we ended the relationship pretty soon after that because I wasn't taking her whatever. Like I would wake up.
She wanted you to stand up to her. That's what she wanted. Trust me, bro.
I did stand up to her and we ended the relationship. So it's like I think these little like ways of looking at things are kind of juvenile, where it's like girls are trying to test you at all times. Like I don't really view relationships in that way personally.
Hey guys, hold on for a sec. Little announcement. Hey, Jimmy from Philly's watching the Eagles. That's where he is. All right, bro. I texted you earlier, you bastard. But yeah, if you can, before I shut this down, I'm gonna stick around a while though. But please hit the like button. It helps. We got 16. I know there were more people here tonight. So please hit that like button if you can. It helps. Appreciate it.
I did stand up to this lady.
Huh?
I stood up to this lady and we broke up like that weekend. So
oh really?
After I was standing up to her.
It could depend. Like, how did you stand up to her? How did you do it? Be honest. How did you do it? Curse her out, spit in her food?
No, I didn't curse her out. I didn't curse. I didn't do nothing. Like I was like looking at her like crazy because she was going crazy at me, and she was like, "I'm glad I didn't overreact." And I was just looking at her like she was fucking retarded, and so she's like, "All right, we gotta talk about this because like obviously you're not happy about it." And I'm like, why are you getting mad at me for using the wrong bowl to water my cat, to give my cat water? Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm doing this on purpose? Because this bitch was always getting mad at me over this or that stupid shit. Like I don't know the fucking rules that you're gonna turn into a bitch if I use the wrong bowl for my cat. Like I didn't know that. So and so she's like acting like I'm some stupid guy because I don't know that I need to. And I'll bring my cat over, right? There's a box. I put my cat litter in the box.
Right.
And she's like, "No, I don't like that. Like you should have asked me for like I have a litter box downstairs. Like the box, like she just doesn't like that. It's a box or some shit like that. Like she's fucking retarded. Like these women, they're fucking retarded. They're absolutely crazy. They make zero logical sense. Like She's like, I don't want to eat out of the same bowl out of a cat. And I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about? You can't eat out of the same bowl as a cat. How am I supposed to know that you have this aversion to eating out of something that a different creature ate out of previously?
Yeah, but we have things called dishwashing liquid, and dishwashers that should be able to handle that.
That bitch is stupid. It didn't make any sense, bro. So the ladies are all about emotion, and all that bitch knew is that she was upset. And so if I try to break that, I'll try to break it down to her. And she was gaslighting me the entire way, talking about, no, I never said that you were stupid, or like, no, I wasn't even that angry, or like, and I'm like, bitch, I was trying to get. I don't even want to get into it, bro, because she was being so disrespectful to me. She was talking down to me so much, and I'm like, and then when I try to call her on it, she tries to pretend like that shit didn't happen. I'm like, I'm literally quoting her back when she's trying to pretend like. So it's just I don't have the issue of not standing up to women when I do, and next day, like I'm like, yo, I can't take every day you have off of work. I cannot take that day off of work. Like I really have to focus on this website. Like I really got to get this thing done. And so she didn't like that either. There's a bunch of things, but I 1,000,000%.
I got new glasses. Tell me, is it really the John Lennon look?
I don't know what John Lennon looks like. Oh, he's the circle guy from the Beatles.
Small glasses. Yeah. I got the small. These are my glasses now. I use them mostly for reading. They're progressive, but I use them mostly for. I said, you don't have conservative. They go, what the hell is that? I said, never mind. But they gave me progressive glasses, so it's mostly for reading. So I only wear them when I read.
That's good. Well,
they're mostly for reading, right?
This girl had circle glasses as well. She said they're good for just general people's faces. I think they're good for.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're fashionable.
The other ones, they were so friggin' ugly. I was like, no, can't do it.
I have like very sharp features, so I can't really find glasses that really. I don't know. I'm glad I have good eyes because I don't really look good in glasses.
Yeah. I had 20/20 until about 2 years ago.
Fuck, that's gonna be
my whole life. I had 20/20 until about 2 years ago, and then I started becoming farsighted. I gotta
my dad is always having to reach for his fucking glasses, and it pisses me off. Like I want to show him something. Let me get these glasses out and put them on.
Radio keratotomy done. Radial keratotomy, whatever they call it. That shit. I had guys in work that had it done, and they were explaining how they do it. Holy mackerel! And you're awake the whole time. They literally slice your eye in half, and everything goes black. You can't see shit. And you have to pray that the guy knows what he's doing. No. And then I heard that like 23% of people go blind from the surgery.
I don't want to ever be in a surgery ever in my life if I could help it. Because one time I was donating blood plasma, and these bitches were fucking the needle up. And I'm really skinny and I'm really vascular. I'm really like lean and vascular, so I have no idea how they were possibly having so much trouble. But that just made me realize, like, you never want to be in a situation where you got people sticking needles into you that don't give a fuck about you, cutting you up. They really don't. You're just a piece of meat on a table. So hopefully, man, I would never want to be in a surgery. That would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, I've had it done a few times.
I'm really lucky. I've never had any catastrophic injuries or something like that. Even
you're still young. You're only 29. Shit.
Yeah, if it's not happened by now, like it's probably not gonna happen. As far as
my last surgery, I had a deviated septum. Had to get that done. Had to get that fixed. I was getting sinus infections every month.
Yeah, that'll be. I get that. Yeah, I bet you were feeling a lot better breathing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My nose is always clogging up, dude, at night. Like if I'm smoking, it happens because if like I'm smoking or something. Like, so I'm not in my trailer smoking right now. But if I was smoking up my trailer, I try to go to sleep at night. Like my fucking nose, and I hate sleeping when my nose is clogged up. So, but having a clogged up nose is one of the worst things. This girl the sister of the girl, like she has her nose is broken a bunch, and she's like I was like asking her, like, do you breathe out of your nose more or like your mouth? And she started going like, oh, I breathe out my mouth more, but like I'm really self-conscious about it. Yeah, I would hate to have not the full functioning of your nose, like it's it's important for a lot of things, actually, biologically, having a functioning nose.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had to get that done. And after that, they like went away. I was like, thank God. They just went away. But I don't remember any other surgeries I had. I don't know. When I was a baby, I was born with a double hernia. My parents are going to name me Henry for some reason, but yeah. But let's call it. So they had to do a surgery on that.
Chill's got a buddy going in for heart surgery. I wish him well.
Yeah, yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. Best
I mean,
wishes,
so-
man. Prayers. Hug.
I told him this last time he brought that up, but my grandfather had a heart surgery or something. He's still
really?
alive now, so I guess they know what they're doing. But you know, it'll make me very nervous. So if that was me, even like blowing on my knee or something like that, like
yeah.
I would hate to have these people doing whatever they're doing. I don't like needles like at all. Like
Oh, really? You're one of them?
Like-
Yeah. They don't
Yeah,
bother
but-
me.
I had to go in for a STD checkup, and they gave me a
Really?
bunch of needles and such. Disgusting. I hate it.
Wait a minute. An STD? Did you say?
Checkup, like a checkup, like testing.
Oh, all right.
I was all negative. I was
Oh,
all
good for
negative,
you.
guys.
All right, there we go. That's what I wanted to know. I didn't want to ask though. Yeah,
No,
I
this girl
passed
told
my
me this.
STD test. Got a 75.
I was 2 for 3.
Yeah.
No, but this girl said that she had syphilis that I was banging. So
Oh, dude. Yikes.
So but I have like a very strong immune system from living in fraternity houses and trailers and being on a farm all the time and not washing my hands and
in the river with the pollution.
yeah.
Yeah.
Washing guys, don't wash your hands too much, okay? Don't do that. Don't shower too much. Shower like once or twice a week. Anything more, if you're a man and you shower more than 2 or 3 times a week, and you're not doing active things like working out, like that's too much. That's too much. That's like feminine in my eyes. All right, it's too much grooming. You guys don't need to be like
STD test, then silence.
I didn't want to like brag about my results, in case anybody is suffering from it or something. But yeah, no, it was all good. All checked out. And that was like my first STD test since college as well. So it was like because they shoved a Q-tip in my cock in college.
Oh,
so,
yikes!
Yeah, so
I
I never.
you guys can't see it, but I just crossed my legs. Oh wow!
So I never went back. So
Yeah, I
luckily
wouldn't
this
either.
time- Yeah,
What do they
luckily
think? It
this
was
time-
earwax in there or something? What the fuck?
Apparently, they can either shove a Q-tip in your dick or you can piss in a cup. And they had me. They gave me the Q-tip. So the first time,
I'd be
so
like,
I never
give me the
fucking went
cup,
back.
motherfucker. Give me the cup.
Yeah, no. The worst part is that not only does it burn when they do it to you, it's gonna
yeah.
burn when you piss for
Imagine.
days after.
Oh, I can imagine.
Burns when you piss. Yeah,
Happy girl's like, what?
I know.
I
Yeah,
know.
tough
Oh,
stuff.
no. Yeah, I don't think Jesus was involved, but I know. I mean, all right, man. Jeremiah, thank you for showing up, man. I really appreciate it every week, man. Appreciate it. I appreciate your comments too in all the videos. You're awesome, bro. All right, have a good one, man. Good to see you. Yeah. So. What do your parents think about leaving the country?
I haven't told them yet.
Ooh.
They don't. I told my mom. I kept my mom up because I'm gonna. But I haven't even told my dad I quit my job and such. I'm gonna have to tell them. I'm gonna give them a demo on my website and I'm gonna break the news to them then.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Oof.
Everybody has to quit their jobs like me and get out of this system. All right, guys.
Yeah. You're going to become that sovereign citizen or sovereign, whatever it is.
No, I'm just gonna be a trailer guy. I'm gonna be living in a trailer down by the river.
It's in a van down by the river. Yeah, him and John Candy died way too early.
Yeah, he
way
OD'd.
too early. Yeah.
They had pictures of him. I think when he died, it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
He had
Candy, he had just lost a lot of weight too. And he was doing a film out in Arizona. And I think the heat got him. I think because his body wasn't used to his body was used to overexerting itself, and so when he was in that heat, his body didn't yet get down to the level where his weight was. It still remembered it had to keep doing stuff like muscle memory, I guess, his heart and all that, and then it just gave out.
Yeah.
You too, man. You too, Jeremiah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, they're yeah.
He's a good guy.
I don't know too much about his cause of death, but I stay away from all those whatever. Anything
Well,
that
his
you can
last
OD
interview,
on.
they said, "You lost a lot of weight. How much weight did you lose?" And he goes, "Oh, about 2 men." That's what he said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Luckily, I'm on a bunch of stuff that's like not ODable.
John
So
Panette died of too early too. He was a great comedian, heavy guy. Great
all the
comedian.
comedians now are pretty much trash. It's like not very many
Yeah.
good comedians out anymore. Their culture is like really bankrupt now. There's like nothing good.
Culture?
Our
The
culture
left?
is like, huh?
What culture? American?
American culture is like done. It's dead.
Well, it's
Nothing
because
good
of the
about it.
left. It's because of the left. But you know what, dude? That's the thing. A lot of people. I'm not accusing you of this. I'm just saying. A lot of people think that the entire country is the way it is in their neighborhood, their city. You know, no. There's a shit ton of America out there that still loves this country and would die for it. Believe me. When I
The
went, let me
problem,
tell you this much. When I went to a Trump rally, we stood in line for about 6 hours in line, moving up just to get in, right? And we made it there just in time for Trump coming out. We were right there, right? But in those 6 hours, we met so many people, great people. And there were young guys that were there, and we were like quizzing them. And they knew every issue. They were young too. They were 16, 17, 18 years old. A lot of them that we were walking with for 6 hours, and you get to know a person after that amount of time. And they really they restored my faith in the future of America, because I know there's a lot more of them out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot more of good guys and girls out there that love America, are not buying this woke bullshit.
we'll see how it goes, man. There's been a lot of damage done, but I think the thing about culture that I'm talking about mostly stems from it's really hard for people to like for music, for instance. Like people used to buy MP3s, like the digital files for like 99 cents or whatever.
Right.
And so versus now, like they stream it, and then so you have to get paid through streaming, and so you have to hit like the mass market to be profitable, sort of, just
Right.
because of the way. So everyone has to like hit the biggest common denominator, and so it's like anything that's unique or special, it's not going to fit into that category because it just has to be geared towards the masses. But Boss Man, he's over here talking about they can't do whatever I'm talking about in Europe. I think he's talking about dropping out of the system.
Is he?
You can, I think you can. I feel like you guys can. Like, I don't think you guys really understand. Like, keep in mind what's going on in states that happen all over the world. So the thing is, like, I've been living in this trailer without power, and without a lot of stuff, and it's actually been very fun for me. It's actually been very good. I know it's not like winter or anything right now, but this guy, this author, what's this guy's name? Emerson. What's that guy's name? Emerson. The author, Emerson. Thoreau. Something. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay, Ralph Waldo Emerson. That's the author.
Oh,
So
okay,
Ralph
yeah.
Waldo Emerson, one of the greatest authors of all time.
Yeah.
He lived in a log cabin for a while. Okay,
Yeah.
as a renowned author. You know, I'm not
He was
sure
an
what
abolitionist too, you know.
What's that?
He was an abolitionist too.
Oh, sure. Sure. But I've been living in this trailer, and I blew out the electricity to it. And I just didn't bother fixing the cable for it, just because I didn't bother with it, just because I've been so focused on the website that I just didn't want to bother fixing it. But man, a lot of the stuff, like, I don't know. I just feel like people need a different perspective or a different mindset about the system. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are so fixated on money and stuff like that. And once you guys realize that money is a psychological weapon of control, and the most important thing on this earth is not you making money. The most important thing on this earth is like, is you being happy, or you thriving, or like you orchestrating your life in a way that's meaningful. So a lot of people are really trapped by the money, and I hope you guys can get out of that, like I have, and so it really feels good.
Good.
So hopefully you guys can quit your jobs. I think it's the right thing to do. We all have to.
I can't right now. Not in my
Ayn Rand said that the you know, the ultimate boycott is you taking your productivity out of the system. So that's what I'm trying to do. Actually, well, I'm using my productivity for myself. So actually, so I think that's ideal. I think that's ideal. I think that's what we need to do. We need to start using our skills and our talents for ourselves, and stop giving it to these corporations. My government contractor was, I would hear things all the time like about diversity and such like that. Like these people are discriminating against my people and such like that. So they don't need to. The government doesn't need to have my skills. They were wasting my talent anyway. They're evil. They're cucking you. They're taking your money and they're using it to feed other children that are not your children. It's just really sad what they're doing. So it's immoral of you people to keep your jobs and keep paying into the system. And I know it's all comfy, but there's other ways of doing things.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that right now, I'm getting ready to get out of that system in about 7 years. So I'll wait it out.
Oh no. All right. Well,
I'll wait it out myself.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, one of the things is like, I kind of always wanted a house, and then I realized like houses are kind of like prisons in a way. So you're in prison for 7 years. So good luck with that. Serving your time.
I am.
But
I figure I've been working since I was 14 years old. I'm 60 now, so I figure I will have had enough.
Well,
7 years.
When you kind of like the calculation for you playing into the system versus me playing into the system, like it made a lot more sense for people to play into the system. I feel like X amount of years ago, like that was actually the smart thing to do, the right thing to do. Like you know, like that's what you're supposed to do. Like, because we have a functioning society where they're not taking your productivity and spending it on everything that's immoral to destroy your own country, to destroy everything that your forefathers worked for. So I mean, it does make sense. Like there's like decades of you know, the system that so I'm, you know, not everyone can do what I'm doing, but for young people, I think we have to stop. We really need to stop. We really need to stop with this. Like all these girls going into college, but like y'all need to stop that. We need to start being more pragmatic and start coming together, get out of the system.
Yeah, college is not for everyone. Not everyone needs to go to college. That was a big lie that they started pushing on people. You got to get to college to get ahead in life. No, bullshit. You don't need to go to college. You can go to a trade school.
The women joining the workforce was a lie as well.
Yeah, it was.
Big lie.
It was.
So I just see things up.
We're going to start the He-Man Woman Hater Club. That's what we're going to do, you and me.
Yeah, no matter. Actually, it's kind of true. I'm still going to be in the system. I'm going to be looking for a job in like a year or like in a few months. So I'm just talking shit right now.
I know.
I'm already like, I have like
You're going to be an entrepreneur going, man, fuck the system.
Yeah, and then it's not going to work out for me. I'm going to be right back. And you know,
I can hear them now. CNN. Years ago, you used to say, fuck the system. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I do. Hopefully, I think everybody feels like that. I think that's like yeah. But no, because no, the system is like, as far as I just been like realizing how bad the system is, and because it's just really designed against community. Like the whole entire school system takes you away from your parents. You're raised by all these children are raised by the government, not their parents, because all of their parents are working too hard to raise their own kids. So it's like our society is like extremely sick, in that you can't even spend the day with your child. Like I was only with my parents for like a couple hours of the day because they were always working because you know, maybe that was some of their fault and such like that. But but there's more important things than working. So we really got to realize that, like, spending time with your children is extremely important, vitally important.
That is true. Well, that. See, I think the feminist movement screwed a lot up because one man used to be able to work a job and raise a family, have a car, go on vacation, buy a house, that one salary. And then women started working, and now the woman has to work because that extra money, people started spending it. Then the cost of living went up. Then Democrats got elected every fucking year for 40 years, and here we are. So a lot of people argue that the feminist movement. See, I love the feminist movement, especially when I'm walking behind it. A lot of guys will get that, but yeah. So a lot of people say that no, it really fucked a lot of things up.
The whole thing about our like, there's something that everybody always says as far as our system is, like, we have a deflationary, or we have an inflationary monetary system.
Right.
And I think that I've never understood that. Like, all these economists say that you need to have a inflationary monetary system. It seems like through that system, like, they're stealing our productivity. It seems like they're like, if you could imagine like a treadmill, and us as workers, like, we're increasing productivity, like we're producing more and more using less work and effort. So you would think that the cost of living, you would think that things would be getting cheaper over time. But I think that they have to steal a certain percent of our productivity that we would be otherwise passing down generation by generation. Like, our economy, you would think we could produce more and more and cheaper.
Right.
But
See,
apparently you can't.
Here's another problem we have too. Like, for example, a lot of people don't realize, like, I say to people, I ask them, I go, do you think that you are paid what you're worth? And people will sit there and I go, yeah, I think so. And I go, well, you're not. Because if you were, the company wouldn't make any money. So if you produce, say $100 an hour of productivity for the company, they're not going to pay you $100 an hour, because then they would make no money. So if they're going to pay you $25 an hour, they're going to make $75 off of you every hour. And that's how they make money. So that's number one. But number two, well, go ahead. What were you going to say?
But it's like, your labor, like, you're not worth anything in a vacuum, like say if you're a waiter or something, like you can't just be out in nowhere and be waiting tables. Yeah, the business has to provide you an environment for you to have any type of value. So
well, the way I always thought about it when I was young, I used to think about it. If it is the duty of the company to pay me just enough so that I don't quit, then it is the duty of the employee to do just enough work so that he doesn't get fired.
Yeah,
that's how I used to think.
That's the thing. But that's like really. So I think, like, thinking like that, like, so this is another thing where it's like, this is bad for your soul, bro, to be acting like this. Like human beings need to be put into a position where they can express themselves and, like, put all their efforts into something. And so, like, when you do work a job and you do put all your effort into it, you're a fucking idiot. And that's just the like, it's like, unfortunate, like, that's just the way things are. Like, if you do too much, like, you're not going to be really compensated for that. And in a lot of cases, in a lot of situations, in a lot of scenarios, and that's what's been so rewarding. Because, like, when I work for my job, when I would write code, there's a big difference between writing code for my own website and writing code for my boss or something like that.
Okay.
There's a huge difference. And a lot of that comes down to just the market forces. So, and it just is what it is. Like, it just is what it is. But it goes back to just not like, being in an environment like that is not going to be fulfilling for humans. Being in a situation where you're not applying yourself to your fullest, that's gonna lead you, I feel like, to being like, at least it leads me to feel like, it gives me inner turmoil. I'll put it like that. It gives me inner turmoil when I'm not in a situation
I used to think
where,
like you when I was your age. I did. I thought a lot like you. Yeah, I did.
That's good.
So I know where you're coming from. Believe me.
That's good. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm on the it feels like I'm really like on the path right now to, what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm
Well,
I'm
that's
really
good.
happy about so I'm gonna be excited to I'm really glad you invited me to be able to share my website on your platform. So
Oh, dude,
so I'm
when
gonna
it's
be
yeah, oh, dude, when you bring it up, yeah, you come in, we'll show it. Fuck yeah.
awesome. Yeah. I'm sure like I've been trying to like show it to people and people just really don't understand it. So I'm gonna have to
To make it understandable, then.
yeah, that's the thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
I'm
make
trying to
it
break it down.
understandable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll
Good
probably have
PR
like
for
videos set up or something, but it'll be good to just whatever run it past you guys. So what? Yeah. So and also, man, just being able to talk to you, man, about I know we're gonna be. I'm I'm leaving all the like specifics about content creation and such until I'm actually um
ready to
neck
do
deep
it.
in that. Yep, neck deep in that stuff. But that'll be
Yeah.
pretty soon, man. Hopefully by the end of this month.
Sure. Just hit me up,
Hopefully
man.
by yeah, that'll be it's gonna be fun, man. I know you. I bet you're having a lot of fun doing this, right? Like this is just a fun thing for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh,
You
it's
meet a lot
fun.
of people, like yeah.
'Cause it's kind of like when I was coming of age of the whole political shit. I started out going on a it was a dating website, but I was only there to go into their forums. They had a really good political forum. It used to be called datehookup.com. And I used to put on my profile, I am only here for the forums. I'm happily married. Right? I lied. I wasn't happily married. Anyway, so so it turns out that I was in there and I used to battle with liberals, and that's how I met my buddy Mark Davis, the guy. I bring him in a lot. I interview him a lot. He's in Georgia, and he's the guy that did the analysis of the 2020 voter data for the Trump legal team, and he's now got a Substack. He's also a regular writer for the Federalist now. He's a good guy, and he's a good writer too. I'm happy for him. But we used to go there, and then we moved. Then Facebook was invented, and we moved there and started battling liberals there. And so I used to love arguing ideologies and psychology and all that bullshit. Then it got really freaking boring because I learned that liberals they all act the same exact way. In fact, they used to throw one of their typical lines at me, and I go, yes, and next I'm going to say this, and here's going to be your response. And then you're going to say this, and then you're going to say this, and then you're going to say this. Am I right?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
honest ones would go, yeah, how did you know that? I was like, I used to be one of you, dumbass. That's how I can read your minds. I used to be a liberal when I was young and stupid.
There's a passage in Gulag Archipelago where Solzhenitsyn
I've
is
read it.
talking.
Which one? The Archipelago? Which one did you read? The first or?
I didn't read any of them. I was only like read like a few chapters out of the first one, and I was just like,
Hell
oh
of
my
a book,
goodness.
bro. Hell of a
Yeah, I
book.
got into where they're storing these people in the cupboards or something like that, and
Yeah.
they're all storing them all like together and stuff like that and whatever. But excerpts and things like that are pretty good. But one of the excerpts I read was he's talking about how he would be debating all the communists, and he was pantomiming the debate he would be having with these people. And he was just, it sounds like it's like when I go on Twitter, it's the same thing. Like these people, no matter what you say, like they're going to have their thought process. They're going to be like in their mode of like,
Oh yeah.
and you can't shake them from it. It's like,
Well,
he was talking
you
about-
know Yuri Bezmenov, right? You've seen the
Yeah.
video. Yeah.
Yep.
He said the same thing. He said, and he goes, you could take them to the work camps, and they still won't believe it until they get a foot in the ass and shoved into a cell, and then by that time it's too late. And he was right. But the Archipelago, holy crap! It talked about what it was like to be in the prisoner camps, right? That's what it was, getting through it. And he said that if you were sick, if you were like you caught what do they call it, consumption back then? If you had that, they would kill you because you were no good. You could spread it, and you were no good to the working class, to the workforce, like the work fields and all that they made you do. So you would have friends that you made being in there under those circumstances that would cover for you. They would literally hold you up while you were walking to the job. and you had to learn how to not really work, so you didn't want to kill yourself but look like you're working. It was weird. And he was like, they just thought the whole time like they're going to kill me when they find out I'm sick. So you tried everything you could not to be sick. And that was just one of a million things that they had to put up with every day.
Yeah. I really wish I could find this excerpt that I was talking about before, because it's like sometimes you read things and you read things in historical books and you're like, holy shit, like I have to read this literally again. Like this was written in the middle 20th century. Like this could have been written about today. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, did you ever read The Banality of Evil?
No.
Oh, read that. Oh. What's her name? Hannah Arendt, I think it was. She wrote it. And it was about Eichmann in Jerusalem, but it's not a Jewish thing. So all you Jew haters, calm the fuck down, right? So it turns out that what the entire book was about was that once people in their brain cross a certain line, you'd be amazed at what they would allow themselves to do that is evil to someone.
It just started like
heard something in the background.
It's like pouring. It's pouring here.
I was gonna say, is it porn?
Yeah. It's just like out of nowhere, it just started going crazy.
But The Banality of Evil was about that. You think, how could human beings do certain things? Like take a spoon and scoop someone's eye out. That was nothing to Nazis, in those camps. That was nothing. It didn't mean a thing. And watching someone suffer, it was things like that. Like so the banality of evil means, banality, you're dead to it. It doesn't bother you, right? So the banality of evil was all about how man could be a superhuman, terrible, evil son of a bitch. I think today we call them progressives, but you get the meaning. You get the idea. Let me see. There was a book, Senior Gulag Officers published, made drawings of things he saw and explained what was going on. Yeah, it's I forget what the Archipelago book was called. I have it and I've read it. The something of the Archipelago. The Archipelago. What was it? It was I got it in Kindle. All right. The Gulag Archipelago. That's it. If you get a chance to read that, guys, holy crap, read it. I'll put a link to it. Volume 1. Oh, it's like $10.
There's if you look online, there's like a bunch of people reading it on YouTube if you want to listen to it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. It is a hell of a book, guys. That and The Banality of Evil is another one.
Gulag Archipelago is like a 3-volume series.
Yeah. And each one's like 700 pages.
They also have like an abridged version that some people might want to look into.
I think
Solzhenitsyn himself was like, this is a good, way for people to actually like easier for people to get into it, or like
it was just a survivor that wrote. It was a survivor that wrote what he went through.
I'm still desperately trying to find this excerpt. So,
what was it from the Archipelago? From that?
Yeah, because it just goes into like it goes into a lot of the things we're talking about as far as society and such like that. But I'm getting close, so I'm asking ChatGPT to give me some hints and help.
Here it is. Here's some. If only it were all so simple. If only there were evil people somewhere insidiously committing evil deeds, and it were necessary only to separate them from the rest of us and destroy them. But the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. And who is willing to destroy a piece of his own heart? That's one. Thus, it is that no cruelty whatsoever passes by without impact. Thus, it is that we always pay dearly for chasing after what is cheap. Yep. Solzhenitsyn, whatever his name is. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I never get his name right. Let's see. Gradually, it was disclosed to me that the line separating good and evil passes not through states, nor between classes, nor between political parties either, but right through every human heart. This is what the book was about. And through all human hearts. This line shifts. Inside us, it oscillates with the years. And even within hearts overwhelmed by evil, one small bridgehead of good is retained. And even in the best of all hearts, there remains an uprooted small corner of evil. Since then, I have come to understand the truth of all the religions of the world. They struggle with the evil inside a human being, inside every human being. It is impossible to expel evil from the world in its entirety, but it is possible to constrict it within each person. Cool shit.
I found the excerpt, but it's like I need to find it on the page now. You know, so I can. They gave me the right ChatGPT gave me the right thing, but I want to.
How does it start? What's the first like 3 words?
So I found the PDF. I'm trying to do a Control F on the PDF, but the PDF is not giving me. But it's like and I say : why do I keep having the same argument ? ? Oh, maybe it's in like a different volume. Maybe it's in like volume 2.
Ah, there you go. Let's see. If it were possible for any nation to fathom another people's bitter experience through a book, how much easier its future fate would become and how many calamities and mistakes it could avoid. But it is very difficult. There always is this fallacious belief. It would not be the same here. Here, such things are impossible. Alas, all the evil of the 20th century is possible everywhere on earth. Yeah, I think the 20th century is one of the most brutal fucking. You know how they always say, religion is the cause of all wars. Fuck you. The atheists killed probably 200 million people in the 20th century alone. The communists, like about 200 million. And they literally have a page out there that lists the wars. And these are the wars that the communists started, not the ones on their own people. This isn't killing their own people. Because like Stalin killed like 65 million of his own. Mao was like 200 million, some shit like that. But crazy, crazy shit. The evil in the 20th century was just off the hook. It was off the chain, man. Let's see. The most intense patriotism always flourishes in the rear. But here's the special question. Dude, political question. If Russia attacked Turkey from the rear, would Greece help? I saw a smile there. You got it. I know you did. You just don't want to laugh.
Yeah, I got it. I'm just focusing very hard on the task at hand.
Let's see. The intellectual. Oh, there's another good book by Charles Percy Snow, and it was called The Two Cultures. Read that too. That explains an awful lot for today.
All right. I think I have like a small excerpt. I think if you read it like in context, it would be a lot better. But this gets This gets to the heart of like kind of like what we were talking about though. But here's the passage. So this is Alexander Solzhenitsyn talking about his time in the prison camps, and he was debating prisoners and guards and such. So it was always the same people. They believed in the revolution like a religion, and every question was met with the same answer. Why do we arrest so many? Because the revolution is in danger. Why do women have to work? Because it's necessary for the state. Why are children left to fend for themselves? Because sacrifices must be made. And it was always the same, a single person arguing with me. but it was never a person at all. It was the voice of the system. So it's like when you're arguing with people, like these people are the voice of the system. Like they're not even they're just whatever the Democratic Party regime has in store, like their talking points. Like that's just is what it's going to be. And like if you try to, no amount of logic or reason is going to be able to shake these people off their spot. Like they're going to have whatever response or to it. So also
that's where we are today in America. We have conservatives. We don't trust anything. After the Biden regime, we don't trust jack shit. We don't trust the media. We don't trust medical. We don't trust anything. We just don't. And the left, they don't trust us either. It's like everybody sticks in their echo chamber, but me, I have to watch all that shit, because I do videos on that stuff. So I got to watch CNN so that you don't have to. You're welcome, people. Yeah, so it sucks, but that's what I have to do. But yeah, we're at a point now where nobody wants to listen to anyone else. But you know what? Trump changed that, didn't he? Because now he has an America First coalition that's made up of two halves of both parties. Think about it. RFK Jr. recently, when he came out and endorsed Trump, he gave permission to many other Democrats and independents. He gave them permission to support Trump. Technically, if you think about it. It's like you heard of that the second man dancing. You heard about that, right? The second man dancing theory is this: when you're at a dance and nobody's on the dance floor, right? The first person that goes out and starts to dance and makes a fool of himself, he doesn't cause everybody else to go out. But the next person that goes out, that gives everybody the go ahead, and then the dance starts. Everybody goes and starts to dance. That's how it works, and that's the same thing in life. That's the same thing in life. So RFK Jr. gave permission to those people on his side of the aisle, not the crazies, because they wouldn't follow RFK Jr., but he gave the permission, which is why you saw Tulsi Gabbard come out right away. And Elon, he was already on the Trump train at that point. I didn't think he would be, but he already was.
Yeah, no, I think that agrees. And I do think we're turning it around because like all that whatever, like calling people racist or like this or that, like that stuff is not sticking like it used to.
It's
I do have another.
Well, that's why they're having an extinction burst with Trump all the time. Like he's not your typical Republican that cowers at their feet when they go, "You're racist." Fuck you. I'm not a racist, and I know it. I don't care what you say. They put the work in, and they didn't get the result they wanted, so they freak out.
No, I don't think they're going to let Trump in office either. But we'll see
they're either going to kill his ass or they're going to try to get him out legally. Dude, they've been trying to stop him since the day he came down the escalator. They never stopped. They never stopped. Think about it. The first thing was the emoluments clause, which was as ridiculous as anything. And then it was the Russia, the Mueller probe, the two phony impeachments. I mean, they
were investigating him during his original campaign.
Yeah, they never. Well, they were investigating him, but it was bogus. We all know that now.
They were investigating him so that they could spy on his campaign. That's the only reason they were doing it.
Exactly. And Barack Obama during that campaign was saying, Mr. Trump is saying that, that the government is trying to yada yada yada. And he goes, instead of, coming up with conspiracy theories, why doesn't he just try to work harder at getting people to vote for him? And it was like, you motherfucker, because we now know he knew because he ordered it. He's the one that ordered them to go after Trump. To get that NSA database to get any kind of dirt they could. I think he will win too, Special K. I think Trump's going to win, but they're going to do a lot of cheating, and they're
already cheating. Already cheating.
We still have 60-some days left that they could.
It's already been
through, and we got a lockdown and all that bullshit. They could do that again too for the mail-in ballot.
It's already not a legitimate election. It's already a illegitimate election.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he could win because while they're saying Kamala's ahead by 2 points nationally, I don't believe that for a second. I just don't believe that. I just don't. I think they're over polling for her, and they always under poll for.
All they gotta do is make it seem plausible that this lady's gonna win, and they're gonna find the ballots. Like
Well, that's what they. Well, that's why. Look, Mark Elias went around that cocksucker. He's a lawyer. He's the lawyer when the Democrats want to cheat in elections. They go to him, and so he and my friend Mark beat him in court. By the way, yeah, he has a shirt I think that says I went to court with Mark Elias and I won because nobody gets to say that, but he did. And so Mark Elias went around and got his legal team to challenge election integrity rules in court. And a lot of leftist judges went, yeah, I agree with that. Let's get rid of that. But they're not allowed. A judge is not allowed to change election law. I don't give a shit what they think they can do. They can't change. Article 1, Section 4 gives that to the state legislature.
You're talking about Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah. Well, every state, all the battleground states he did it in, and he's doing it again.
I think the Pennsylvania one was like the most like egregiously unconstitutional.
Oh yeah, you had the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of PA changed election law. They extended the deadline. Act 77, I think it was called, was the mail-in ballot law, and it said that the deadline for accepting a mail-in ballot was 8 p.m. election night. So if the mailman delivered it at 8:01, it couldn't be counted. That's the law. Well, the Supreme Court of the United States extended it by 3 days. You know why? Because they needed to know, well, how many votes do we need to let Biden win? And then they made all the phony votes up. They did this in every. That's why they said, well, we're gonna stop counting and continue in the morning. Except when the Republican observers left, they continued counting. So it was funny how Trump was ahead by like 6 points the night before. Now all of a sudden we're not counting all night long, but Biden's ahead as soon as we start counting in the morning. It's bullshit.
I was watching on live streams, like YouTube live streams, of like these batches coming in, and they had batches of votes that were all Biden.
Yep.
That I was watching that graph they have that's like this. I watched that shit in real time on election night happen. Where that shit just went right up.
Oh yeah, man. And the shit that we saw, like
they're not gonna let this man Trump win.
Our attorney general, I could tell you this much. Our attorney general right now, he's our governor now, right? Shapiro, right? And he was the attorney general during that election. And he didn't take any cases where people complained about election fraud that they saw. He would not investigate them. He just wouldn't.
Yep.
I mean, there used to be a day when Democrats took their oath seriously, and it didn't matter. They were not partisan when it came to doing their job. Today, forget about it. They're as partisan as they get. They really are.
I don't think this SAVE Act, bro. You think they're gonna get that in? Every time the government is about to shut down, I want them to shut that bastard down so bad.
Well, the government shutdown. Yeah, you know what? I always say there is no shutdown. The government doesn't shut down because I think it's 75% of employees are considered essential, and they don't shut down.
Yeah,
you know, and then the people that are shut down, they always get back pay anyway. So what the hell are they complaining about?
They don't want. The reason why they don't want the government to shut down is because everyone's going to realize once that shit does shut down, everything carries on as usual, and it's going to really tank their legitimacy. Yeah, like this.
Well, you heard Obama. When Obama had a shutdown, he was quoted as saying, "Make it hurt."
Yeah,
like when you shut down the national park.
Yes, he was about to say that. Yeah, he was shut down national parks.
They shut down national parks. Make it hurt for people that like to use the parks. Like make it hurt because we're going to blame the Republicans. It's funny when they had a shutdown. If the president was a Democrat, it was always the Republican Congress's fault, and vice versa. Isn't that funny? And I always said, let them shut it the fuck down because you know what? Every day the government shut down is a day they can't hurt us.
They're the enemy. They are the enemy.
They really are. They've become an enemy of the people because they don't think about this. A lot of Republicans still do listen. A lot of the rhinos don't, but a lot of them do still listen to the people, to their constituents. Not all of them, but their constituents. Democrats, I don't think they listen to their constituents anymore. I just don't. How can they vote for things that are really going to hurt their constituents when I know their constituents are bitching at them about it?
I mean, like, so I was debating AJ. I don't think you were there, but I was debating him on illegals. And one
And
of the
let me interrupt. You won, right?
No, it was a slaughter. It was an absolute slaughter.
There you go.
But so the first thing I said to him was like, "Hey AJ, you're an unskilled laborer. You trim crops for a living. Do you understand that by having all these illegals come in, they're devaluing the
Your
value
work.
of your work?"
Yeah.
And I don't think I
No,
really
they're
got
not, man.
Oh no, what are you talking about? Nah.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me if they get work. That's what he says. That's the way he talks. It doesn't bother me. Like, why would it bother me?
Exactly. You pretty much spot on.
Yeah, he's a moron. He's a moron.
Yeah. So
I think I banned him from my channel. I should unban him just to bring him in because it's always fun.
He's a fun punching bag because he's just
He really is, and he is a punching bag. I think he's been punched too many times, to be honest with you. Yeah, but my brother always has that one where he goes, "Yeah, well, you say that men can become women, but you won't F them. That means that you're a liar." And I'm like, I'm sitting there. I don't have like the temerity to go, "Well, Jim, it doesn't really mean that," but
I don't know. It's the transgender stuff.
We have to be careful what we say.
It's just too much, man. I literally, one of my friends, I stopped being my friend because of the transgender stuff because I think that they need help, bro. I want them to have help. This is all I want for them. I want the best for them. I literally want the best for them. And sometimes people have different ideas about what the best thing is for people, but you can at least respect my thoughts and treat me with some respect, or otherwise, like, I'm not gonna fuck with you anymore. So
yeah. You're right.
So
You're right, Special K. Jimmy's relentless. He truly is.
Yeah. So
I didn't know the Eagles were playing tonight. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy they're playing on Friday night.
I didn't
Hope
know
they're
that.
losing. Oh, yep, they're losing. Oh, season over
Are they?
already. Yep, sorry about that.
It's a preseason game, though, right?
No, it's the first game of the season, but it's
Oh,
only
is it really? Wow.
It's not even halftime. It's like 30 seconds left, and they're only down by 5. So it's like,
all right.
Yeah, it's not even. It's like they could score right here and be up going in halftime. I'm not sure what they have, and they have the ball, so they could score and be up by half. But
wait a minute, Linda. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying 3rd and 16 in the Green Bay 20.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Me, it was very nice to him. I guess you're talking about Jimmy, and he seemed to come good a bit, but it didn't stay. I don't know what that means. Jimmy always liked her. Are you talking about Jimmy or someone else, Linda? Yeah, Jimmy always liked her. He always said hi, welcomed her back. In fact, didn't we bring her on one night? I think she came on one night, or was that somebody else? I think it was her. Gay J, yeah.
Yeah, your brother should have you thought about
His
doing
illegal alien girlfriend left him and moved back to Minnesota. Or no, he moved back. Yeah, moved back to Minnesota just to get away from him. She went to the cold, freezing zone just to get away from him.
She out there colonizing Minnesota. AJ doesn't have a problem with that though.
Yeah, I just laugh at that.
I don't know. I wish
Yeah,
them the best.
you're the one that brought it up. I'm like, do your own fucking homework anyway.
They've been together for like AJ's been with that lady since I first started dating women. Like since I figured that out. I ran the math. They've been together for like 12 years or something.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Crazy shit. Well, guys, we are going on 4 hours, and I'm going out tomorrow night, so I got to get some sleep.
Yep, getting late, but thanks for having me on, Rich.
Dude, always. Yeah, you always have an open seat here. Appreciate it, man. Everybody, hit that like button, please, before you leave. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Talk to you, man. Hit me up, dude. Hit me up when you're ready. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here as always. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, which everybody here has, but there's always people on that we don't know. So appreciate it. Watch the videos. Good night, Colonel Rangus. Oh, yeah. Special K every time. Thank you for coming in, man. I appreciate all you guys coming in. Yeah. Spread the word, though. Spread the word. Tell 10 friends. There's this guy, Rich. He's conservative. He's got weird ideas. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bess. Appreciate it, man. You guys are always the best. Appreciate it. All right. You're the best, Linda. Think about it. You guys could do anything on a Friday night, but you come here, and I love you for that. I do. I absolutely do. Good night, happy girl. Happy girl, if you want to talk, let me know. If you ever want to chat, like live on the phone. I haven't talked to you in a while. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Thank you. Take it easy. Bye.